Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to the Monday Show 62. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, what a month for VR, bro. Uh, think about where we were at like 30 days ago, right? Roots was, I mean, I hate to say it, bro, but you kind of were a flat gamer a month ago, right? And so much epic stuff has happened in the last 30 days that it's brought you back to us. And what can I say? I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah, I haven't touched flag gaming. Well, I've done a little bit, but not much like I was before. But yeah, it's definitely been a good month. Actually, I was looking at the list of games that came out, and I remembered reminded me of how good the list of games that came out were, and reminded me we have a lot to talk about. So it's cool.
Yeah, good thing the chat has shown up this week, right? We're going to be leaning on them a little bit, huh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Science says he's got great timing. He absolutely has great timing. He came at the perfect timing. And Hussein X says, "How is it going, VR friends?" That's going good, man.
Hussein Sex. That sounds
Yeah,
like a porn name, don't it?
it does sound like a porn name. I was gonna say I appreciate him stopping by my stream the other night. Been seeing a lot of names popping by, both on YouTube and Twitch. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you know what they say, cast a wide net, right? And when you talk about 7, 8, and 9 hour live streams, that is a wide ass net, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of names come by. That's what's cool. That's one of the exciting parts is seeing Eric Smasher drop or was it Masher, I think. I don't know, dropping
Eric
by
Smasher. Hey,
Smasher.
there's another good porn name, right? Eric Smasher.
Yeah, we got all these porn. Even Mame fans kind of sounds like a porn name, but no, we've had a lot of cool people just drop by, and I thought it was really cool. And yeah, it's been very fun. So
I'm not going to repeat what Jim Hall just said in the chat. I'm just going to tell him to shut his dirty mouth or go elsewhere.
yeah, no, we will have to at some point as well. But yeah, no, I've been I was looked at the game, Wes. I've spent 50 hours so far in Population One. So
Wow.
yeah, I was looking to double it by the end of the night, but I'm running out of time, Wes. So yeah,
Yeah, running out of time. That's the theme of the day, right? People wondering why the Monday show's coming in almost Tuesday. Well, that's because your boy Roots here actually got me to play a little Pop One before we did even show prep. So, like, here I am struggling with whether I should do one more match or actually, tend to my responsibilities. And eventually, the responsibilities won out, but not after we had not until we had a good time, right?
yeah, it was funny because it was one of the first times I've seen you actually, because you literally said I need to go do the show prep, and then you said, but we're gonna do one more.
Yeah, we did like 3 one mores, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. It's one of those games. It's a perfect one more game, especially if you get a taste of wins. And it was crazy because your first game was a win, so that was
The first
insane.
couple of games was a win. I guess we should just go ahead and jump right into it because this was my first experience in Population One. I have had it installed on my machine for pretty much since launch day. I did go in before, play enough of the training to pretty much get a good idea of what the game was going to be. But it's different when you're in there with people, right?
Yeah, it's a big difference from especially I never did the training, West. As a matter of fact, I didn't know there was training, like with actual people, things to shoot. I I just thought it was just the very generic training at the beginning. It kind of showed you, okay, this is what you do, fly or whatever that it makes you do. But I don't know. This game is very addictive to me. I play I apparently, and I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I guess I am in one respect, and I had no idea. I did it, but whoever number two is on the leaderboards, usually the number two under Stumpy, I killed him last night, and I was playing with this guy. I can't remember exactly what his name is off the top of my something the Great. Amazing, dude. This guy's running around here. I mean, we won almost every game we played, and he was killing like 8 to 10 people a game. And I killed somebody, and he's like, "Oh my god, that was a number two guy in the world." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, that was he mowed down just like everybody else. Wes, the P90 melted him, and it was amazing.
I mean, that's just something, Roots. I noticed in between matches all the little numbers tallying up, but I never really paid much attention to what they were. I could tell that some of it at least was unlocking unlocking skins, cosmetics. But does any of that stuff that you gain from winning and losing, does any of it affect your ability in future matches? Does it help level you up and give you abilities that other players don't have?
No, everything's 100% on equal That's what's great about these games is like people can complain all they want, but everybody has the same access to every gun, to everything the same. You get to the shit and you take advantage of it. Like even in one of the games we had, I was flying to the church and cemetery, and people were shooting me before I even hit the ground, and we were right next to it in the platform. I don't know how they got a gun so fast, but some people are really good out there, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I got shot in the air too, which completely pissed me off. But that's all right. Roots came to my rescue and revived me, and I think we ended up winning that one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I think we did as well. Onikazi says, "Is Slaughter number one on the leaderboards for everyone?" No, see the thing, there's a top 10, there's a leaderboard for everybody. There's a friends list or whatever. So far that I've always seen, Stumpy Nub is number one. He literally wiped out our team in about 10 seconds. We all landed at Cemetery and he wiped us out, and we followed him in spectator mode, and he wiped out every single team he ran across, and until he won the game. And he was solo. He had a teammate, but his other teammate must have been doing the same thing on the other side of the map, because they never saw each other until the end of the game, when all of a sudden he came out and he was there, and I was like, oh shit, man, I guess he did have a teammate. It was weird, but I've never seen any. And what did you think about the spectator mode, Wes? Like I specifically told you, oh, whoa, wait. And even you, me, and Mamefan, who joined us for it, we were all, I don't know, I was blown away by the spectator mode.
Yeah, it was really awesome. It put me in the mind of the tabletop mode in Hellblade. Only there were live, there was live action going on right in front of you while you were viewing it, and it was really customizable as far as your position and your viewpoint. And it was cool. It was fun to watch. Even though you could have gone and started another game at any time, you don't really want to. Something else that really helped me to appreciate just how big the map is. It is only one map, but there are like, I don't know, it's like five maps in one map. There are neighborhoods, areas to the map, each with their individual properties, advantages, and disadvantages. And yeah, man, I kind of get what the guys were doing there. You said one guy was on one side of the map and the other guy was on the other. I could see where that would be an advantage. Uh, I mean, if you're always together with your team, sure they can revive you, but you can all get killed together as well.
Or you can mow everybody. There's so many different. That's what I was telling somebody in the chat earlier before the show. There's so many different ways to approach it. Some people Rambo it, and some people take their time and are a little bit slow. The first couple games, it was funny because Mainfan ended up getting most of the kills. I got a couple, but all of a sudden it was over. We won. Like, what the hell? And Wes is like, "Oh, that was cool getting those guns because you didn't get to get any gunfire, right?" And then we
Yeah,
actually got into some games, right? Some gun.
yeah. It was the first two matches were pretty much identical. I spent this, like 5 to 10 minutes building this awesome arsenal, right? Expanding my backpack, picking, cherry picking the guns, and the first match, just as soon as I get a player in my crosshairs and I'm getting ready to pull the trigger, main fan kills him and we win. And it was the only dude we killed. Like we killed one guy and won. And then like the next match, almost exactly the same thing happened. Like I saw a dude, I was picking my weapon, but by the time I had my weapon chosen, the dude was dead and we win again.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, it doesn't matter how many times, how many people you actually kill. It's being alive at the end of it, and that's a lot of it too. Is like a lot of times in the beginning when I first got into this game, our team would come across some teams fighting, and we would just jump in, and like it would get chaotic, and you end up dying. And now, if we come across that, we'll wait, let them fight it out. One of the teams will kill the other team, and then we'll go in and attack. Like, why leave go against 6 when you can go against 3, right? There's a lot
You
of
know,
different ways to do it.
I bet somebody, nobody specifically, but if say just some person happened to be very good at hiding, that they could probably make it a long way in this thing because again, you're just trying to stay alive to the end. And at the very least, if you're really good at hiding, you should be able to get it down to like a one-on-one or a one-on-two situation in the town square almost every time.
Well, you know that one, the tower you were talking about, the going to the big tower.
Right.
Mamefan said that one of his first wins was with some kid, and he said they climbed up to the tower and they waited till it to the end and then swooped down and killed everybody. And so there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat, and that's what's so cool is you can play it one way. And then go completely the opposite the next time, right? And it's a different feel. It's like almost a different game, and each game is
Right.
different. So
Right. But with nothing to gain from winning other than cosmetics, it kind of defeats the purpose of just hiding it to get the W, right? Because you want to get the W by blasting everybody away. It's really not the same if you hide and just get it through sheer attrition. And then what? What does that mean? It means that they didn't find you. Way to go.
that's exactly why when you click the home button, the first couple of slots are the top your friends list kills, top 10 kills, or whatever the top kills. Then the next one is, it's all about kills. Eventually, you'll get to the stats, the ones that actually matter, because that's what I was telling Jim. It doesn't matter. I could play. My stats look really good, but I've played a shitload of hours, and I'm doing a lot of games. Of course, my kills are going to be higher than somebody that's played for an hour and a half. But you can look at the other stats. But the way it's designed is you're looking at your friend's kill list, and so you want to kill people, man. You want to get in there and just, at least I do. I just want to run in and kill, even if I don't win. At least if I get a couple kills, I feel like, okay, that was good. It felt my catchphrase is it felt good. Oh, that felt good. So
Yeah. Root's coming up with catchphrases for a game. I think we have a winner here.
yeah, this is good. I definitely enjoy every minute of it. And if I wouldn't have had to work this morning, it was like 2 a.m. and I had to work early this morning, and I was just starting to get a lot of people on Twitch, dude. It was at 12 to 15 people, and seemed like every time I looked, I was a couple more, and then I had to leave, so I got sad. So
It's all right. It's always there. Those people will come back, bro.
I hope so. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So, what did you think about playing the game in standalone mode on your Oculus Quest 2?
Oh yeah, that was what was interesting. Is I went into standalone mode today for the first time, because most of it I've done either by link or virtual desktop, and it was good. It was the only thing that there's a couple of perceivable things. First thing I noticed was a little bit of anti-aliasing, shimmering, just the little parts in different buildings. Not bad, almost imperceptible. The load times seemed a little bit longer. And one thing I did notice, because I play a lot more on the on link versus virtual desktop or wireless, is there was no jank when it first started up. Like when I go into a game for whatever reason, when I got the link, there's a little bit of weirdness, like jitteriness for about 2 to 3 seconds, and then it evens out every time. And I thought it was the game, and apparently it's the link experience or something, because it wasn't there today, and so that was kind of nice.
So,
And
does it do it with virtual desktop?
no, did not do it, because that was another thing. I went right into, after I played a few games on the standalone. I went into virtual desktop again today, and it didn't do it today. So I don't know what the deal is. I'll have to mess around with it and see. And I don't know, maybe you can tell me if it does it for you with link, or in the comments below or chat. Me know if that's the case for you as well with link cable. But that's my experience with the link, and it evens itself out. But like in that middle world, or that was funny. I told Wes, I was telling him, the first Mamefan says, "Hey, do you have any tips for Wes?" And I tell Wes right off the bat, "Okay, let me, when you first get in, you're going to go down this ramp, and then you're going to go to these pods, and you're going to get in." And so I tell him, explain that, and then we go in. But I forgot to tell him about the intermission stage. So when we first got into the pods, Wes was like, "What the hell was that?" And I was just like laughing because I realized I didn't tell you, so you must have been like jarred, like, "What is going on? Like, what the fuck is this?" Because it was chaos,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm looking for pods, and then all of a sudden, there's just like a bunch of people standing around a pile of guns and ammo, and everybody just running for it like a free for all style. And I'm like, there's no roots, there's no main fan. It's just a bunch of people I don't know, and I'm like, holy shit, where's my teammates? What the hell's going on? And then like people start talking to me like I'm right here, bro, and shooting me, and like, and then all of a sudden we just whoop right out of it, and now we're where Roots said I would be, right at the pods.
That's funny. I just didn't even dawn on me that that would be pertinent information. But yeah, that probably threw you for a loop. But
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, no, it was I don't know, man. Everything about this game, and even with randoms, everybody says they don't like playing with randoms. I met that dude that's like number 7. He's number 7 on the whoever is number 7, something the great, man. This dude's amazing. And so I'm like running around with this fucking amazing guy now just because I like to do randoms. And I like to get to know people. And yeah, I've got weird stories, man. People in my stream were telling today. I had some kid telling me, and he's like a really younger kid, telling me to call him father. His name was Fid or something. And I said, "Oh, okay, Fid." And "Oh, you call me father." And he started screaming. He's getting all freaking out. And then he said he was gonna spank me, and it was getting really weird. And I was like, "Okay, this is getting too weird." But um, it's entertaining to me to troll that kid, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, man, that's one thing that Rec Room and a game like this really teaches you is just how far gone today's youth is, man.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just some people in general because, like, I like to go in and I'll say, "Hey, how's it going?" Such and such. I'll just pick a name and I'll start asking them whether they like the game or whatever. And I run into people every once in a while, and I'll ask them, "Hey, so and so," and they'll just be like, "Fuck off," like, and just start getting all pissed. And I'm like, "Whoa, dude, hold on, bro. Like, what?" Just want to see how you like the game, man. I just, I love you. Some angry people out there, Wes.
Yeah, bro. Who could blame them though with all this, right?
Yeah, well, and I did ask them how they were doing. Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna trigger people in 2020. You know what I mean? Like, how dare I?
Yeah, I know, right? You just you assume things with you and your privilege over there, and it just screw you, man.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I would recommend this game to anybody. I mean, even people like Scion, Zach Fontaine, people that really didn't believe they were going to like this game.
Hey,
Um,
yeah, I thought it looked cool uh, for a multiplayer game, but I am not a fan of multiplayer games, especially competitive multiplayer games. But I dug it, man. And I haven't been in there with randoms. I've only been in there with my friends, and I really don't see myself wanting to do it any other way than that. But I dug it, man. It was fun. I do wish that the matches were a little bit longer. I'd like it'd be cool if the zone would slow down just a little bit. It seems like it's kind of fast. Like you can't camp at all
well,
because
that was
it's going to push you.
that was one of the things that cracked me up too. Is I keep hearing Wes be like, "Ah, man, this wall," because that's one of the things that when you first get into this game for like several matches, you just can't get over especially if you go to the edge. Like, man, this thing is like always on me, always on me. But you get to the point where it's kind of exciting. I treat it as a game. I'm like, how much can I get before I'll dart in and grab a couple things and dart back out and just keep letting it chase you, push you through. But um, you can jump in the middle too, Wes. You could always drop right, and I mean, you're kind of putting yourself at risk. You don't, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of one of my favorite places is the plains with the scaffolds and stuff. There's always good stuff there, and so
Dang.
yeah, the
Yeah, man. If
plains.
they would put me one good sniper rifle on top of that tower, I think I would land there every time.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool. You could always get one and then work your way up there. Proper D climbed
Yeah.
that tower in 58 seconds, so it can be done.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I tried to see how fast I could climb in the training mode, And that's how I always end up getting killed in the training mode was climbing,
Mm,
shot in the back while I'm climbing.
yeah. Well, you're a big target when you're in the air or climbing. But there's
Yeah,
see,
but if you can get that high ground though, man, that's a big advantage.
it is. But there's a lot of strategy to that too. A lot of times somebody's like trying to snipe at you, and all you have to do is wait them out, and then the storm pushes them off of their pedestal, right? And then their advantage becomes a disadvantage as they're coming down. And you just pick them off as they're coming out.
How many of these little kids you think actually came from Rec Royale?
I don't know, man, but there was one kid. I swear to God, he must have been. It sounded like he was like 3 or 4. It was very difficult to have a conversation with this kid. So I was wondering, man, how old? Like at some point, I don't think I'd have my kid in here at that age. I would be questioning. I might tell, like, if your daughter wanted to play at her age, be like, okay, we're just this slide. There's a slider. You can just mute other players, and you're not hearing anybody else. You can go in, you can do it. You're just not because you can still ping stuff. People can still communicate with each other in game with commands and stuff on like, oh, there's somebody's over here, or there's a weapon, this weapon over here, without talking. So you don't have to necessarily communicate, but it just gets kind of crazy.
Well, this really goes into what we were saying we would like to see from the game, and that is a complete private match, right? With all players that are on like say the match hosts friends list, so that we can everybody knows everybody. I can say, hey everybody, tone it down on all the bad words, and then maybe bring my daughter into a match or two.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we could absolutely get a chance to get into a match with Matt Serra because I know some people that know him, that could probably get us in a match if there was private stuff. I'm sure Rendered Reality would love to get us in there with a virtual strangers versus Rendered Reality versus everybody. Like I don't know, I could just imagine between the two um, shows we could really fill up a lobby easily. So
Yeah, I wonder if those guys even knew who Matt Serra was before they before he like did they first like happen upon him in a VR game, or are they like somebody else I know who actually watched Matt Serra knock out George St. Pierre, or actually watched Chris Weidman knock out Anderson Silva? I mean, I know of other VR guys. I'm not going to name any names, but I know some other VR guys that are actually pretty big fans of Matt Serra. So. I wonder if the our coffee friends over there actually knew who he was before meeting him in game.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I know some people tried to get into that game for like an hour straight, just kept trying to get in.
Yeah, I
Um
know a guy specifically that did that.
yeah, dude. I know Jim suggested it to me for my show, and I was like, man, the thought of streaming trying to get into a specific game, like that just doesn't sound like a good stream to watch. You know what I
Well,
mean?
see, with me, I would love to play in a match with somebody like Matt Serra because I legitimately am a fan. But I would feel weird just like chasing anybody into a game like that. Like I don't know. It's kind of weird fanboy stuff that I don't. I would just feel weird doing it. Like, hey, bro, what's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some
Fancy
people.
meeting you here.
I didn't know you would be here. Um, some people, just the thought that they were in the same game, even if they never encountered them, would be like next level. So I get it. But no, I've never even. I don't even. I don't watch UFC too much anymore. So I've heard the name thrown around. I guess he's good. That's
He's one
another.
of the more colorful personalities in the MMA space. He's from Long Island, New York, and the guy is kind of he's made a career on upsetting uh, and winning the title a few years back from a guy who is a lot of people consider to be the best of all time, and Sarah beat him, and that's kind of what Matt Sarah is known for. But
Mm,
he's since gone on to become a very successful coach. He coached Chris Weidman to a world championship. He's got Aljamain Sterling, who's about to fight for the belt. So he's a jiu-jitsu guy, but he hits hard as well. And yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we got on Matt Sarah's MMA
Rundown.
resume, but I wonder if he's half as good at playing VR as he is talking and jujitsu.
From what I hear, he's pretty good at shooters, but I mean, let's be honest, dude. He doesn't need to be good. And if he's with the rendered reality with Tyler and Sean, dude,
Right.
if you're on
Hey,
Tyler and
I'll put my boy Sion up against him any day if we can get a knife in this game.
yeah, I'll tell you what though, like who was it that I said that I was played with that played a couple rounds before I had played with them. They said that. I mean, they're good, dude. Like I'm gonna give Tyler and Sean their props, man. They at shooters in VR they are really good, and I actually I listen to me like I don't know. I played a couple rounds with Sean, and we won. So we won,
There you
yeah.
go.
So he's good, yeah. But
So what you're saying is you're a switch hitter. You went and joined the enemy's team, huh?
yeah. Well, he came and joined our team for a little bit for a couple rounds.
Okay. Well, that's forgivable then.
That's what I love about this game too. Is like I just get random invites from everybody, and if I'm open, I just jump into them, and I'll play with anybody. I'm still waiting to play with Gamer Chick again. I think she's a little
You know,
bit. Think she feels like she let us down, but
you
um,
know who else will play with anybody, Roots?
My mom!
yeah, I've heard of that about her for sure.
Yeah, she's pretty wild like
She's
that.
very lenient.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but no, man. I was surprised at how addictive that the game was. Um, you know, a lot of people have had a lot to say about the graphical fidelity of it, or the art style being kind of questified. But I thought it looked pretty good, especially the weapons and the way the weapons feel and sound is just phenomenal.
Yeah, what did you think about turning your weapon sideways? That was one of the tips somebody gave me. That it can like instead of the recoil going up and down, it goes side to side. Now that for me that doesn't help. But for some people that really would. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I tried it. I didn't try it on like a person, but I did try it, and yeah, man, absolutely. It seemed like the recoil was less pronounced sideways as it is up and down. Like if you're holding it up and down, it seemed like the thing really moved a lot. But if you turned it sideways, it was just kind of a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Little tips and tricks, right? And you know what you
Yeah,
could do, Wes, as well is, and this is something you only haven't even seen, but like there's trees and they got all this, obviously leaves and all that BS. You can climb up the tree and make yourself a little platform that's hidden in the leaves, and then you're standing up there in a sniper's nest that people can't really see you up there, and you're holding on to anything. You actually have your own platform. It's pretty cool.
yeah, that's one of the things that I really need to practice a little bit more in the game is building. Like I kept finding the resources to build with, but I don't have enough experience in the game yet to to build just like without thinking about it. Like if I'm going to build something, I would have to stop what I'm doing and try to think about the controls and remember how to do it. But yeah, that's something I think I probably should work on a little bit.
This is my advice. This is how I've been working on it anyway. I always pick it up. I always pick up every resource I come up, just like I always pick up every ammo of the type of gun I use, any of the types that I use. Because you can never have too much ammo, and I'm always giving it away to other people that need it, teammates or whatever. Um, but I always pick up the resources, and then I just remember the two biggest moments that you mess up because right now you're not going to be building and climbing and going up and going across shit and doing all that weird stuff, right? Is when somebody's shooting at you when you're standing there sniping at you, or when you're running, and you can actually literally start throwing you can hit your B button or A button, right? Just like Half-Life Alyx, just tap it and you go to your hands, and then you just start clicking your trigger and start throwing up your stuff as you're running. You can start putting stuff up behind you, and so that snipers can't get you. And same thing when you're my biggest instinct when I'm getting sniped from ahead is like, oh shit, I'm getting hit and I'm getting hit hard, is to start trying to run. Well, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. If I just start throwing down these walls up in front of me blocking, I can stop it instantly and I can assess, or I can, another way is moving across an area where they're sniping, but you need to move across. You can start throwing up those walls. And I just get into the habit of, it's like an instinct. I start getting shot instantly. I start throwing them. And once you can get to that point, then, at least you can be using it for a defense, to begin with. Just make sure you get those resources, because that was my biggest thing in the beginning. I would forget to get the resources and go to grab them and throw them up there, and you're standing out in the middle of the street clicking your trigger, nothing's happening. So
Yeah, and that's actually a really good point because generally speaking, most of the time that I had, I was drawing fire, it was from a distance. So like being able to throw up a panel real quick as a barrier would have saved me in probably 90% of the scenarios that I ended up getting killed in. How cool is it after you get killed though that you're not just lying there on the ground? Like normally your teammate has to work to you to revive you in one of these games, but you can do absolutely the opposite thing. Like your teammate can run away so that he doesn't get killed too, and then you can just run him down and find him and have him revive you.
yep, that's a completely different type of, adds a different aspect to the game. Not only that, but like when you're Ghost, even though I had a 10-year-old telling me I was stupid to do this, as I'm walking my way back to the my teammates, I'm telling them where the guy's at. I'm like, hey, yeah, he's coming from your left. He's coming around the building. He's up on top of this rock. He's about to come. I mean that when
It's
you're
coming
when
all over you.
that's yeah, he's coming all over. You know who else likes to be coming all over, Wes?
My mom!
That's probably a little bit too much there. But it is prime time, so I think we're covered because it's so late, right?
Indeed.
But yeah, no, I don't know. There's just so many different ways to go about it, I guess, as the way I look about it. So
Yeah, man. It just dawned on me another strategy that might actually work. If you did have one that, like I was talking about earlier, somebody who wanted to just hunker down and find a good spot to hide in the game, if your teammates know where you're at, then you could have two people on offense, one person on defense whose job it is just to not die, and then as the attackers go down, I mean they know where you're hiding at. They could just come and get revived and then go back out on attack again.
yeah, and there's strategy to the reviving as well, Wes. I've seen people, especially that Zays the Great or whatever his name is, he did the revive in about, seriously, 1.5 seconds, or it was the fastest I've ever seen it. And he's like, the way he was doing it, it made me start thinking I need to practice. Like in between rounds, aside from asking people questions and polling them, I try to practice something, whether it be just running and strafing and hitting people as I'm going, or building stuff and running across and building a bridge, or now I'm trying to practice my revive, get that revive time up. I don't know, Wes. Radio Runt says in the chat, never played a battle royale game before. This game has me addicted. I don't know what's happening to me, Wes. I'm 50 hours in, and this game just came out. I'm streaming almost 10 hours at a time, and I'm ready to go longer. And I guess this is a testament to how comfortable the elite strap on with the Quest is, because I have not felt uncomfortable after 9 or 10 hours of streaming, aside from my feet being tired and standing for so long.
But
So
it goes back to what I said before too, is that after you get used to strapping into the Oculus Quest, you kind of get better at it. So a lot of the discomfort you feel at first, it comes from just not having it on right. But after you uh, put it on a few times, just like anything else, it becomes second nature, and you know exactly how to get it dialed in just right as soon as you put it on.
yeah, I think you're right, because after I got Wes's secret tips of swiveling, I really don't feel like it's on my face. I feel like it's just there, but it's not. There's no pressure, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I got a hold of those VR ears guys by the way today, and they confirmed that I will be getting VR ears for Oculus Quest 2 now.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. Oh, you don't want them for the PlayStation? I thought that, or do you?
I got clips for both.
Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome.
I
Yeah.
paid like extra $13 or $14 to get another set so I could move it back and forth as I choose.
Yeah, Jim Hall's trying to kill me. He said a 24-hour stream coming up. I better not be working the next day, Jim, if that's going on.
Yeah, for real, right? So how does Roots feel about this game when he's not able to jump in it?
Well, I'm torn, okay? I'd love to jump, but one, it's the mechanics, it's not there. And you can fly. So like you kind of can jump if you just got to go off an edge to do it. And you know, like of all those games where I can jump, uh I can't climb stuff and swoop around and do all the other things, right? So look at that. I'm just going to town on that charging, although it was not the best. But yeah, so I feel like it's a trade-off, right? Mechanic wise, you can't jump, but you can climb stuff, swoop around. So I don't mind it. I would love to be able to jump, but it would just be one more thing that makes it harder to shoot other people because people are already fucking juking and jiving and swooping around. And I've got people, Wes, coming down, swooping, shooting as they're circling me. And the good teams are really actually, and you know that some of these people are military because they're creating pincer points, and they're like you're getting hit from 3 different points, and there's no way you're getting out of it. Like they're all up on buildings, and by the time you realize what's happening, you're dead, and it's like, oh shit, man, this is
Yeah,
not good.
yeah, I've noticed that most of the time that that I got killed, I really didn't take a lot of bullets, man. It was just before I realized that I was actually under attack, I was dead. You know, it was over with.
Well, snipers are very powerful, especially the ones that where they get you from so far away. The key in those kind of games is just always be moving and not predictive. Because if somebody can just follow along how you're moving, so if you're like kind of moving and zigzagging and doing different stuff, it makes it harder for somebody to accurately hit you. So when they do try to hit you, um, now you know where they're at. You know what I mean? So because sometimes the only way to find out where somebody's at is to have them shoot at you, and then you can turn around and start going around. That's one thing that I put in my stream last night, and I'm partially serious, partially joking, but I said that the hunted is now become the hunter because now when I first started this game, West 50 hours ago, I would land and I would hear gunshots and I would be like, oh shit, and I would get paranoid and I would try to stay away, and Jim Hall would be a perfect test, and he'll tell you. Now I hear the gunshot and I mean, I can't even help it, dude. I just start beelining. I'm gonna go kill that person, dude. You know what I mean? Like sometimes to my detriment, but it feels good to mow them down, man. The guns that I like, the P90 and the AKM, they like literally melt these people down. And the fire rate is so fast that I like it, Wes. I like it a lot.
It sounds great. So, what about the price tag, Roots? You know, it is not the cheapest game in the world, and it's not the most versatile game in the world. Is it worth the $30?
I think it is. I think it's worth $30 all day long. It's got that one more appeal. It's polished in every single way. Everything feels good about it, and it's got the demand. I mean, it's this everybody's coming into this game, so the player base is there. I mean, every other game like this, I would say, yeah, maybe you need to get them in at like $10 or whatever. Space Junkies, whatever. But this is kind. I would put this on the level of uh what's that what's the game of that on PlayStation VR, the one that you like to play. I can't think. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Firewall?
Yeah, Firewall. I would put it on the level of Firewall. Firewall does well because people love Rainbow Six Siege, and it's so close to Rainbow Six Siege that it feels like Rainbow Six Siege, and people and the reason why it succeeds, Rainbow Six does, is because of the gameplay. And same thing with this. This is like Fortnite. It's got everything that Fortnite has, and it's done well. And so it's got that same draw that Fortnite has. not that it's Fortnite in VR, but it's the same things that work for Fortnite work in VR in this game as well. And everything they've done has made it. It's just clicked together. I can't think of anything else that I could say that could truly be done differently outside of more modes and different things that will come with time, like more maps, whatever. Um, but I've said this to many people in the last 24 hours. Can't split the player base. We all want everything right now, but the EU people need servers more than anything. They're
Absolutely.
bouncing around, teleporting all over the place. I see them. I kill them all the time, and I feel bad, Wes.
Well, what I'll say for the game, as well polished as the gameplay is, you can certainly tell that it was in development as long as it was. You know, we were wondering what they were doing, right? And it at least seems like some of the time away that they've taken in developing this game was spent to get the gameplay just right, which is a good thing, right? It's the one thing that really has to be right, and it is. I feel like they nailed it. It feels great to hold these weapons and fire them. They sound wonderful, and the gameplay is fast paced, um, but not too fast paced that it overwhelms you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, remember, what did you think? I was telling you a little bit, and I don't know if you experienced it in the way that I was saying, but like when I'm flying, and you got your arms spread out, just kind of tilting your arms in different ways manipulates the way that you're like you would if you were playing, and you don't have to turn, and you feel almost like you're really flying, just the way that you can manipulate the angles, and you bring your arms down a little bit, and you angle and you swoop in the church's window and smash in perfectly and grab your weapons first, and it just feels so good. They nailed it. It's how I at Stormland feels, but I think it even feels better than Stormland in a lot of ways, because it just everything together is the flying. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't even lean into it when I was gliding down. The way I would do it is I have my arms out in the T, and then if I needed to move one way or the other, I would just kind of pull one in like this,
Yeah.
and that
So
that seemed to work for me.
yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, see, this is the AKM. This is the assault rifle version of the P90, and both the P90 and the AKM are the fire rate is just so awesome. Uh, I
I
love it.
happen to be a fan of the Golden 44 Magnum Punk, and if any of you are feeling lucky, you know where to find me.
Well, it's funny because everybody's got their thing, right? And I can't stand pistols, so we would be a perfect pair. Because anybody that knows about me with Roots, even randoms, I'm always looking for your gun, bro. I'll give you the better gun all the time. I'm trying to get my team stronger, and I don't care as long as I got the right type of gun. I don't care what level it is, because for the most part, most of the guns, it doesn't matter damage wise. It just matters. It just gives you more ammo capacity, and I'm not gonna. I used to run in for the drops and be like, almost like put myself in danger. Now I could care less. I'll run over and grab the gold guns and bring them back to you. But for the most part, I just doesn't. As long as I have the gun I want, I don't care what level it is.
Yeah, you surprised me when I got in the game, and these guys are all like, yeah, yeah, I don't like the pistols, I don't like the sniper rifles, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, these are the ones that I like. These are the guns that I want. I think the one that we agreed on was the assault rifle, but the other two is like we were complete opposites with it.
Yeah, everybody's got their differences. But if you listen to Proper D, the YouTuber, you kind of need to, like, say if I'm not a big gun person or sniper person, I need to force myself, because like I was saying to Mamefan earlier today, like the best, I think it was him, the best of the best players are good at all of it. Like it doesn't matter. They grab a sniper, they're killing people with snipers, they're shotgunning people, they're doing everything. And the more that you can add to your arsenal, the better you're going to get. And how am I going to win the tournaments, Wes, if I, don't train, bro? I got to train.
For sure. Bruce, you know who else loves a proper D?
My mom!
Oh, yeah, she sure does.
Anyway, I guess we should probably move on. We've got so much more to talk about, and I feel like talking about this game is almost as addictive as playing it. I feel like we could probably go on for a couple more hours, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Wes. This is a little guilty admission. As we're moving on to the next subject, I wasn't even going to drink coffee, and my deciding factor was that if I drink coffee, then I won't be able to sleep, and then I'll be forced to play some population one late into the early morning, and I'll be tired tomorrow, but I'll be having fun tonight. So
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I'm actually got a little iced coffee going on here myself tonight.
yeah, well, we might have to jump in there again. We only got a couple rounds, and I felt like we were rushed because of the show. So,
Perhaps I do have some other things lined up with my family after the show,
oh yeah,
but
that's right. You got family in town, right?
actually they left. I was talking about the ones that live here all the time.
Yeah, your other family, right?
But maybe, well, maybe I don't. We might wrap it up pretty quick. It depends on if they're still lively after I get off of the show here.
Yeah, it's surprising how many times people say, "Oh yeah, I'm all down," and then by the time that you get round to it, they're just too tired, right?
Yeah, especially when you start the Monday show and it's almost Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Anyway, let's move on. We've got two more games that we're going to talk about this week, and Roots, and we have a giveaway, don't we?
Yeah, it's funny because you brought up the giveaway, and I totally forgot about it until you brought it up. So that's exciting as well.
Yeah, I got two more Hello Puppets keys that we're going to give away here in just a moment. But first, I want to talk about the new release that I've been spending a little bit of time in this week. And you guys may have caught the gameplay that I posted. It was for Blair Witch Oculus Quest. And it really is strange, Roots. It's strange to see the reactions to this game. They've been very mixed, and it very much has been a love it or hate it kind of game because all of the written reviews, everybody's talking about just how overwhelmingly terrifying that this game is.
Hmm.
But then a lot of the video reviews have talked about how slow and boring that the game is. And to an extent, I can kind of see all of their points, but at the same time, I really didn't fully agree with any of them. I felt like this game was pretty good. It was a pretty good story-driven horror game. Um, Not the best, but then again, I mean, how many times have I said it? There aren't any great horror games in VR except for on PlayStation VR,
Hmm.
and I feel like this is no exception to that.
The more I keep hearing about Oregon Quarter West, because people have described it kind of like I was telling you, that I think you need to get in there because I think this might be the one on PC that will make you think, wow, this is fucking weird and creepy and crazy. Not to get off on a tangent, but literally somebody just said that yesterday. But my problem with this is like you brought up Blair Witch because you even asked me if I think you had asked me if I'd wanted a key for it or not, and I said, nah, I'm not. Like the whole premise, the movie, like I just saw that as a shaking camera, but I never really understood the whole hype around that whole thing, except for the fact that somebody took a little bit of money and made this big phenomenon. That was crazy. By doing the documentary or whatever they did, but the actual footage and all that, I thought it was crap. And so I figured the game was going to be equally crap. But from what you say, it was actually worth at least playing, right?
Yeah. The game wasn't so wrapped around the found footage type stuff. Like you do find videotapes in it, and it helps you unlock what to do next in the game. But it's a very small part of the game. Like you play the role of this. You seem like you're an ex-cop, and you're kind of suffering through some PTSD, and you're out in the woods looking for a missing child.
mm,
And when you get out in the woods, some really strange things start to happen. Some things happen that make you kind of flash back to the traumatic events from your past. And then all of a sudden, Roots, you find yourself in VR playing the role of a mentally ill person lost in the haunted woods. And you can only imagine what a proper portrayal of mental illness in VR is even like. So, like, it seems like time periods are shifting and things are moving around, and it was just there and now it's gone. It's that type of stuff, and me, that's the kind of stuff that I really love. So the further that you get into the game, and it is kind of a slow burn to start, so I could kind of see if somebody played it for like maybe an hour or so, thinking that it might not be their thing. But the further you get into it, the more this guy starts to lose grip. This guy meaning you, your character, and the more that happens, the more interesting the game gets, and the more unsettling the events of the game become.
Do you think it happens by 2 hours, or that's the one?
Yeah, you're pretty much in full swing by 2 hours. And for those of you wondering, my gameplay, I've probably already got the first hour or so out of the way when I started that gameplay. So I think I was in chapter 4 when I started the video that I put up. And
Okay.
I didn't finish it, but I played through, I don't know, chapter 8 or 9 in the thing.
Okay. Jesus Rodriguez says, "What's the verdict on the dog game?" I'm not sure which dog game. I know there's a dog in
It's
this
the
game.
one where it's yeah, he's talking about this one. That's what we're talking about right now, Jesus. And the verdict is it's okay. Now, the only problem I had with it, I didn't have many problems with it. The one problem I had with it is the price. This is a $30 game. I feel like that's a little bit much for what you get here. Now,
Mm.
with that said, admittedly, I did not finish it. So if this thing ends up going on 8 to 10 hours and continues to get more intense like it has been, then yeah, it might be a $30 game. But from what I'm hearing, it's not that. So it's like a 5 to 6 hour thing at the most. And yeah, I really I don't see it being worth $30 in the end. It's I would put it on par with something, and I've said it a couple times already, like a Face Your Fears 2. It's a pretty color by numbers horror experience, but the voice acting and storytelling is really good in it, and it's got that a couple of things that really appeal to me in these horror games. That being, it has supernatural, evil enemies in it, and mental illness. A guy going crazy. You can't trust your own senses
Mm.
in the game, and these are two things that really. It makes for a chaotic experience, and it's just the type of thing that I enjoy.
$30.
thirty
that's
dollars.
that's
You
okay.
know,
So I got $30, and I'm like, man, okay. Do I get Population One? Do I get this game? Blair Witch? Do I get what is that? I don't even know. Is Unchained in Death is what, $30 probably, right? I think Walk
yeah, it might even be a little bit less. I'm thinking it might be like 25
24.
maybe.
Yeah, okay. And Walking Dead, is that that's 39, right? Or is that 29? I don't know. Again, these
It's 39.99, but it does go on sale.
yeah, so at any rate, like there's so many games that are like phenomenal out for about that price or right about there. I would say at $20 it probably would sell really well, but I don't know that even even if it was 10 hours, I don't think I guess it's hard for me to say that because I know it's a lot of work, but I mean you have to consider what is out there for that price, what people can get, and even you could get 2 or 3 games for $30. That's just a lot of money for this game. So
Yeah. One of the cool things, one of the things I think that you would enjoy about it, Roots, is it is actually pretty heavily reliant on that dog.
hmm,
Like
can I fist
when
bump
your
it?
character, no, you can't fist bump it, but you do find items that belong to this boy that you're tracking, and you pick it up, and you can literally command your dog. Like, you can tell it to come here, you can tell it to search, to do different things to help you. And if when you find items, you let it pick up the scent, and it'll show you where to go. The forest is actually a pretty vast thing. It's the pathway that you're supposed to take is pretty linear, but there are branching paths, and you can get lost in it. So it's nice to have your dog to kind of lead the way. Actually, the map reminds you of kind of lies beneath the way it's laid out.
Hmm.
And the dog, think of the dog as your cigarette lighter.
Oh,
He kind of,
you don't have to hold him though, right?
right, exactly.
Oh, I like that. I like that cigarette lighter. It's a lot more friendly than holding that lighter. That sounds pretty cool, actually. And now let me ask you this: is there any part of you that, for the rest of your game, is tempted to? Now, granted, you would have to do it with your wife or something, but maybe you guys are going to go out at night in some forest somewhere and just finish the game just for the ambiance, or no,
I think that would be cool,
no.
actually, even just to take it out to the backyard. I think that this game specifically, it would be pretty cool to try that out with. And I saw a lot of people really counting this game out before it launched because some of the comments um, from the developers were misconstrued for what they actually meant. People thought that this game was going to be scaled back and kind of a VR light type of experience. It's not that at all, actually. It's a full blown VR game, and I was actually quite impressed at the amount of interactivity in the game. Like you have you carry a cell phone with you, and it's a fully functioning deal. Like you literally work the buttons and work through the menus, and you can make phone calls and send messages with it at any time. You have a walkie-talkie that you communicate with your police buddies on that you can pick up and try to use at any time. Everything's pretty, you know, uh, pretty interactive, and it was a lot more so than I was expecting, based on what people were saying on about this game before it released.
Hmm. It's weird. I wonder why they said that about it then, right?
Well, it really wasn't what they said; it was how people took it, for
Oh,
the
okay.
most. People
Driven.
took it to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no. No. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that people misunderstood what the developers meant by the things that they said leading up to release.
Oh, so they didn't listen to what they actually said, and they heard what they wanted, and then they freaked out as usual. It's pretty much standard
Imagine
for
that.
2020, right? Driven by
Right.
says trigger warning, and I have to admit I did get triggered for a second. He's considering refunding Pop One. I'm like, what the hell? It's just not that it's a bad game. He just doesn't have time for it. It's a time sink. Well, think about it as your Roots time, man. You could jump in, you could play a couple rounds with Roots every now and then. You just got to remember to be able to put the candy down whenever eat some nourishment, some other types of games, or go to work. That's always good.
You know who else loves to spend a lot of time with Roots?
Oh God, you're not supposed to tell about
My
that.
mom.
That was a secret, Wes.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, no, I really so far am enjoying my time in the game overall. Not the best game, not the worst game I ever played. I would suggest that you wait to catch it on sale. And
Hmm.
if if any of you are the least bit concerned at all about the Quest style graphics, um, first of all, it didn't look that bad at all. I mean, you could tell it was a Quest game, but it didn't look bad. But if that is a concern of yours, never fear, because the developers have confirmed over the last day, or maybe 2 days, that this game is in fact being planned to come to PCVR and PSVR. So yeah, never fear. You're not going to be stuck playing this on the Questicle unless you just want to.
Now let me ask you this: you say it's not a good game or not a horrible game. It's not the best game. What? Both of the games are the same price. Which would you say is the better game? Which I'm sure we already know, but Onslaught or Blair Witch?
Wow, that's actually they're such different games. It's kind of tough to answer. It depends on what kind of a gamer you are. Like if you're more an action oriented type of person, then you probably would enjoy the arcade gameplay of Onslaught more. But if you're more about story and exploration and just general, wanting to be freaked out by the game, I would say that Blair Witch is better. I personally, well, this should probably tell you everything. As a Walking Dead fan, fanatic even, I probably enjoyed Blair Witch a little bit more than the Walking Dead game.
Yeah, that's pretty telling because it should have been just because it's the world. Because I watched a trailer the other day when we were I was pulling trailers for the last episode for the Westworld sale, and I was like, man, that was so good, right? And I mean, it just reminded me of why it pissed me off so bad because Onslaught was supposed to be the Westworld experience for me as a Walking Dead fan. I wanted to be dropped into that episode and feel those feelings I felt in Westworld. And even though I wasn't even a Westworld fanatic, I just watched the first season, and I was blown away by how good they captured it, right? So it was, I guess it was just more disappointment.
Yeah, but never fear, Roots, because if you're looking for a good Walking Dead experience on Oculus Quest, there just so happens to be one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There is another one, and that's one of the best games out there. So,
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a few minutes. But first, let's take a look at the chat here and just say hello because we've got a few people join. Nebuchadnezzar VR has joined. He's saying it would be so easy to get a bunch of ports of these types of games. A sequel would be awesome. Yeah, I agree, man. It's a cool thing to be. Well, one of the cooler things about VR is how it can kind of transport you to other places. And one of my particular favorite scenes is the spooky haunted woods, right? And that's one thing that this game does very well is the spooky haunted woods.
really, makes you feel creepy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe on a sale I'll be able to feel the creepy woods. I don't know.
Or maybe he was talking about Edge of Nowhere because I'm starting to scroll up now. And he's talking of Edge of Nowhere, Wilson's Heart. Love both of those games. I'd love to see a sequel to either one of those.
Edge of Nowhere, I was just telling them, is one of my, what blew me away about Edge of Nowhere is I picked it up on a sale and I didn't touch it. Didn't even know what it was. And then one day I just decided to try it, and that just blew me away. It was like, man, this is so good. The story, the way that you play, the fact that it was, it's a platformer, but it doesn't feel like a platform. I don't know, man. They nailed it. I would love to see a sequel to it.
So Driven By says, for my money, Face Your Fears 2, Blair Witch, or Left Behind. What's Left Behind, Roots?
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna ask what Left Behind was as well. So I haven't tried Blair Witch. Face Your Fear 2 was pretty cool. It actually had a lot of interactive activity. It's only $20. It's probably for the
Yep.
price. It's got a lot of activity. I mean, it's not story driven. It's more of a bunch of different experiences, right?
You know, I still have a full playthrough of Face Your Fears 2 that I never even published. It's just sitting on my hard drive
Oh, wow, you need to get it out there,
from
bro.
from like a year ago, like when my Rift S was new.
I just think what you need to do is make a point of going into Oregon Quarter. I'm just gonna keep saying it over and over again, just because the comments I've been reading in the Discord, and people are like that the way they're describing it is exactly what I was telling you, that it's just so weird and creepy and bizarre, and they were telling somebody else, you got to try this. I was like, man, this is everything Wes loves, and it may be that the reason why you don't know that there's a good PCVR game experience or whatever is you haven't tried it yet.
Well, that is true, and I have been trying to get back to some of these titles that I haven't tried. Oregon Court is pretty close to the top of that list. Uh, Onikazi coming through with the reminder that Blair Witch is free on the Epic Game Store until November 5th. We did cover that yesterday on the free stuff and killer
Oh,
deals. But, the cool thing about that is I'm not sure how well it works, but, maybe Vorpix, maybe Helix Vision, and you could play the PC version on the immersive screen.
yeah, it probably wouldn't be as good as what you just described as I mean, if you're a PC and you don't have a Quest, obviously you have no choice. But he meant instead of Left Behind, he meant Lies Beneath, and
Ah,
that it was the game I would pick for your money. Lies Beneath, hands down, because it's everything. It's the gameplay, it's the story, it's the way everything looks. but the gameplay is phenomenal, and it's creepy and it's fast paced, and the guns and the weapons feel amazing. Everything about it, I think it was amazing.
Yeah, I concur. Lies Beneath is in a totally different league than these other two games. But with that said, if Face Your Fears 2 and Blair Witch were the same price, I'd go Blair Witch first and then Face Your Fears 2.
Yeah, I would probably agree. I mean, even without playing Blair Witch, Face Your Fears 2 is cool, but it seems a little gimmicky compared to other things. You know what I mean? Even though they were
Yeah,
amazing.
it's a bit stereotypical, like it's kind of cookie cutter stuff to me. I mean, it was well done for what it was, but nothing really surprised me about it, you know.
But Lies Beneath, especially if you, it's hard if you play it on the regular level. It's not hard, but it's difficult enough to make it fun. So
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Lies Beneath is it's a great game. So when I say there's not a great horror game, I'm not really counting Lies Beneath because Lies Beneath is just as much an action game as anything, right? I mean, there are some scary, creepy parts into it. I really love the aesthetic, but I really wouldn't consider it to be like a survival horror game.
well, not survival, but if you think about it, even the story is a horror game. Like all the weird
Oh
shit
yeah,
and
yeah. There's some evil stuff in it for sure.
yeah, so it would be crisp for somebody. I don't know, Scion. Well, not Scion. I guess Radiant would be a better person, but maybe even Scion. There's certain people that don't do horror games at all, and I would almost guarantee they would consider that game that's off their list of games to play. But I don't know, man. Lies Beneath for me is definitely a hands down must play recommendation. Was really cool, and I still need to beat that last boss.
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar says with PSVR and Limbo, do you think they'll cross-publish all these games like Resident Evil? You know,
They
If
already are.
Capcom was going to bring Resident Evil over, I feel like they would have done so already. But there already have been some third-party PSVR exclusives that have moved over to PC. Games like Falcon Age, uh, games like what's another Tetris Effect. So we've had a few. I can't remember them all right off the top of my head, but there have been a few.
Persistence.
We've seen the same with flat games like Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn.
If
So it's certainly a possibility.
if you went back a year and you asked Roots and Wes on this podcast, maybe a little bit more than a year, I guarantee you both of us would have said, man, probably. I just there hadn't nothing had broke over yet, right? But in this
Right.
last year, we've seen, especially through the Epic Game Store, we've seen a lot of games make their way over, and one of the biggest tells is that alone. You know what I mean? Like you're starting to see games that you just wouldn't have seen come over. So I would say it's possible, and it really would be up to each company. And at some point, Sony's going to realize, or Capcom or whatever. You know, it's not always about they would have done it by now. I agree with that mindset because usually that's exactly what but sometimes it's just timing. Sometimes they just hold things back, or they just decide, you know what, let's just do it. I don't know. I'm going to be optimistic and hope it does come eventually, because I would love to see a PC version of Jack chasing me around. It's just the most creepiest thing I've ever experienced in VR.
I can certainly concur with that. I really don't see it with them hot and heavy at work at the next game already. I think that that's a more likely thing for you to wish for is getting RE8 on PC, especially if what they're saying is true and it's going to be years before we see the next PSVR. I happen to be well. I mean, I don't know, but I'm fairly certain that Capcom has been working on a VR version of Resident Evil 8. So if it does turn out that Sony doesn't want to publish it right away, maybe PC is the benefit from that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true. You know, and it's more of a possible yes, probable no, would be my thing. It's
Yeah.
anything's possible. There's nothing holding it back. It's just like Wes said. But we're gonna get to a point where it's going to become so technologically easy, or a lot easier to port things over, where something that might have been a lot of resources, a lot of hours to port something, might be something that's not that hard for a small team to do on the side. And maybe they take an effort. It's going to take something extra than just like you said, because I would rather play Resident Evil 8 anyway. I've never played it. I've never seen the story. So
Damn, it looks so good, dude. I'm going to be so upset if it doesn't have VR support at launch. Like, because I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it if it's not in VR. I'm not going to ruin it for myself because I know one day it will be. Even if it's years down the line, one day that game's going to have VR support, and I'm not going to ruin it for myself. But with that said, dude, I do not want to wait to play that. It looks so good.
yeah, it does look really good.
Anyway, let's move on because we have yet another game that we've played this past week, and I actually played this one today, Roots. And we talk about Population One and how it kind of gets its hooks in you, and it's hard to put it down. In Death Unchained is absolutely the same type of game. Once I get going on this thing, man, it feels so good when you get in a rhythm. I never want to. I never want to put it down.
Yeah, it's just addictive, and you just get further and further. And it's like I said last week, the fact that in this version you're unlocking stuff, you're making your way down to somewhere to actual destination to go into these dungeons and stuff. It makes it to me, it just adds an extra level of something to be doing instead of just going through a killing spree, trying to see how much I can kill and working my way through, unlimited levels. There's a goal to it. And I know there's goal in the PC version as well. But I'm really enjoying this version, and especially with the enhancements.
Yeah, that's the thing. For those of you who own this game, you might want to check it out tomorrow because tomorrow it is getting the Oculus Quest 2 enhancement patch, and the developer Superbright was kind enough to share this patch with Roots and I early or late last week rather. So we've already had a chance to play it and had a chance to check it out, and I mean it was already a beautiful game anyway. Like it was kind of hard for you to wrap your head around something being this polished on Quest uh, before, but now since it's received this patch, uh, it pretty much is even all the more polished than it was before, and it seems a lot closer to something that you would find on like a PC.
Yeah, no, it looked amazing. It looks like my first thing I noticed, and I guess I described it different to you, or you read it. Well, no, I guess my description was horrible because even after I tried to explain it to you, I started putting words in your mouth, and you're like, I didn't say that. And then I reread it. I don't know what that was going on, but um, it seemed like I got in there and I could see the distance. I could see everything seemed super clear and sharp. Like before, I felt like it was kind of I described it foggy to you, but not foggy, murky, kind of like almost like you could see everything really clear up close, but the further it got away, it just got a lot more. It just didn't seem as sharp. Now
Right.
everything was sharp, no matter where I looked, and like you were saying, it was like there was actual fog, like they added foggy area to areas and stuff, and I just thought it looked really good.
Yeah. See, we kind of had a little miscommunication there because the first thing I noticed as soon as I went into it is just how heavy and thick the layered fog is in your immediate area. So the room that you're in, the enemies that you're fighting, you're literally trying to find them through this thick rolling fog, and it was a really cool effect. And it was the first thing that I noticed. But probably the most prominent change in the update is the increased draw distance. You can see way farther down the map now than you ever could before, which is good for someone like me because I'm a little bit methodical with the way I play. I don't bum rush the enemies. I try to snipe from a distance. I'll take to the rooftops first and try to take these guys out from way like hundreds of yards back. And then after I take as many of them out as I can like that, I'll go back down to the ground level and clean up what's left. And having this extra draw distance allows me to kind of plan ahead of time a little bit better what I'm going to do. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But you know, as far as the up close things that you can look at, um, certainly the thick rolling fog effect was super awesome. There's a lot cooler lighting effects. Like I never really noticed the candles in this game before, Roots, but like now they're very prominent. You can see them. They look really good. There's a lot more cool looking particle effects now than there were before, and it's just a better looking game overall.
Yeah, it looks so good. This is like one of those games I guarantee you, you go over to somebody's house and you throw them in this game, it's gonna blow them away. It's gonna creep them out too, especially when those you said those guys that like to hide around the corners, the zombie like type of guys that all of a
Right.
sudden are in your face. Those are the guys that creep me out. Those, and when I hear the shing, and I know one of those night guys
Shing.
are somewhere near me. And this is one of the things, and maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember in Death on PC those guys throwing axes and stuff at me or whatever. I distinctly remember being able to stand back and fire at them all day long and have no issue. Maybe it's a Mandela effect. I don't know, but I had them throwing axes at me, Wes, and I feel like that's kind of rude because like I'm just trying to get through this castle, man. I'm a measly old archer, and they're
You're
just
a
trying to kill.
guest, right?
I'm a
They're not
guest.
treating you like a guest.
Yeah, I'm a guest in their home. I'm just trying to kill them, and they're in my face trying to axe me, and it's not cool.
Yeah, they better ask somebody. Paul Bellino says the PC version of In Death was and is his favorite game of all time, a true gamer's game. Well, Paul, I would at least suggest to you that you should try the Quest version. I know you think that it is a probably the same as any other Quest port, just going to be a watered down version of the PC game, but that is not true at all. This takes the PC game and builds upon it into what I believe to be a superior version.
Well, just look at me as a perfect example, Paul, because I said the same thing before I had my quest. I just said I like the shard, which I still do like that shard. Um, but and I got in this game going in there thinking that it was just another version of it. But what's funny is somebody in the comments one time or in the chat had made a comment about this game being another port, and then Wes set him straight. And ever since you did, it made me think of this game differently. Super bright and it completely, this is a different game. This is an adaptation of the same game, but like Wes said, in his opinion, and I would also second it, a better version. Not saying that the other version isn't good, but Super Bright did a really, really good job of making this game their own. And it's actually got more to it. There's more enemies. There's actual dungeons and stuff that you're working your way down and through. So I just think it's cool.
There's
Definitely
a
worth
whole
playing.
other level that's not in the PC version. The PC version doesn't have the abyss.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, now let me ask you the next question, Wes. As we're talking about, obviously the audio we've said before is really good. Visuals, the gameplay is good. Do you think this is another $30 game? Is this game to you? Do you think it's worth $30?
Absolutely, all day. This is one of the best games I've played on Oculus Quest.
Yeah, and it's one of the best archery games, or games with a bow and arrow. And it's one of those
Oh,
things.
it's probably the best archery game I've ever played.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is even though you say this one gripped you even more than the PC version, like when you tried the PC version, you were like, even then you were thinking, fuck, man, like what? Now I know why Roots was saying this is good. I don't know why I didn't try it, right? Because it's just a good game. It just everything about it, that it really does make you feel like you're in this atmosphere. You really are being attacked. And just the different variants of enemies, and the way it changes every time. It's just cool.
Yeah, Risky Business asks, after you die, do you get to carry over upgrades during the next playthrough? Now, you don't get to carry like upgraded weapons over. You completely start over with the basic bow and arrow, but you do unlock upgrades. Like you can increase your quiver size so that you can carry more special arrows. You can unlock abilities so that you'll do more damage with certain types of attacks, or maybe you'll get more gold for certain types of attacks. But it's also a double-edged sword because as you progress and become more powerful, the difficulty ramps up with it. So whereas the first time you play through, you might only see two or three, maybe four or five enemies. during the first little section, you know, after you play through it 10 or 20 times, you're coming straight into 15 and 20 every wave. And it just continues to ramp up as you progress anyway. So yeah, you do upgrade, but so does the enemy.
Well, you unlock different types of arrows. They've got like exploding arrows. They got ones that are like shotgun type of things. Ones that are on fire, ones that freeze and shatter. And so the thing is you can find them, but they also have a store. Every once in a while, you'll come across this tower, and it's just like a glowing door. And you go in there, and it'll have things you can buy, whether it be more life or different types of arrows. And as you're not only you're killing these guys, you're getting currency towards buying that. So it actually benefits you, right, Wes? As you get hard progress more, by the time you get to the store further on in, you've killed way more enemies and you've got that much more currency. You can build yourself up. Because I chickened out today, Wes. The last time I played, I stopped right before the dungeon door, right? And then I went back in to try it for the game and to try a bunch of different stuff. And I had the option to go in that dungeon door, and I decided not to. Now, this is my excuse, is that I just wanted to savor it and kind of hold on to it for a little bit longer. But the truth is I was scared. I don't know what's in there, Wes. It's a dark, dark door. And somebody said in the comments, and I agree, I need co-op. I need Wes with me. Then I would just be charging in that door. I wouldn't give a shit. Like, Wes is here, man. We're
Well,
going to get this done, bro.
a couple of things. First of all, Super Bright has promised us a content upgrade or update rather this month. So there is some kind of new playable content coming to this game
Wow.
before the end of November. So who knows what it is? Maybe it is some kind of a co-op mode. That would be literally the most epic thing they could possibly do. But I don't know. All I know it's playable and it's free.
Can I throw this
Um,
out there, Wes? When you say co-op mode, because a lot of times it's cool, okay, whatever game it is, and I can't remember what it was we talked about recently, but it was like a special mode where you could, it was like a leaderboard. I think it was that leaderboard thing, but sometimes it's even just like a separate mode. Hey, there's a store, a separate mode, right? I want the actual game like that. Let me clarify. I want the game. I want to go into this game as it is right now with Wes by my side and have us both work our way through. And I want a separate level or separate experience where I can, have a horde mode of guys coming at me. To me, that's cool, but I'm not going to go into that mode except for to check it out with you, and then I'm gonna never go back again. That's just me
right.
anyway. So
Yeah, I agree. I prefer to have two-player campaigns as opposed to challenge maps. Although I'd rather have the challenge maps than nothing, because like a game like Farpoint, for example, while I would much prefer to have someone with me to play through the campaign, I still have had hours and hours and hours of big fun playing through the co-op challenges in that.
me too. Well, not hours and hours, but a few hours.
Let's see here. Driven by asks, he had another versus question for us. Until You Fall versus In Death versus The Persistence. I got to go with
Ooh.
The Persistence there. That's one of the best VR games I've ever played. Then I would go In Death, and then way far below those two I would put Until You Fall. But Until You
Still,
Fall is a good game. It's just In Death and The Persistence I would call great games.
yeah, that's funny because that's exactly how I would have classified it. The persistence is different on a different level. It's creepy and it's got so much more to it than you think once you get into it. And the weapons, the crafting, the different types of enemies, the progressing, trying to get through that ship. I don't know. It's really really good.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever? There's some scary shit in this in death game as well. Have you went into any of the pits? Have you unlocked those pits? You know, the big glowing portals on the wall, the big circular portals.
I think I went. I think that I saved outside of the one. I think that's what I was too scared to go into. Uh,
Dude, you should be scared to go into that because what happens when you go in that is it automatically puts you into this smaller playable area of the map. It's a side thing. It doesn't progress you any closer to getting to the boss, but it puts you into this playable side area that's full of the later on in the game more advanced enemies.
Mm.
And like some of those things are absolutely terrifying when they come at you. Like they are legitimately scary. And today I tried to record a gameplay of the of the of the Quest 2 updates, and I had probably 45 minutes of the first level. I was literally I could see the boss area, like the building that the boss is in from where I was at. But then one of these portals opened, and I was like, I could go fight the boss, or I could go into this portal, and I'd gone into it before and just died immediately. But I'm a lot better now than I was back then. So I thought, what should we do, folks? Should we go for the boss or should we go into the pit? And I went into the pit. But when I went into the pit, my recording, as it often does on Oculus Quest, it stopped recording and I lost my footage.
Oh wow.
Now I started it over from the beginning of the pit to the end of the pit, and it made for a pretty entertaining video, I think. But it really didn't do what I intended to do, which was show off the Quest 2 enhancements, like draw distance and stuff. This was a completely self-contained indoors area, like it was all inside. So
Mm.
you couldn't really see like the big draw distance and stuff. But what it did allow you to do is see some really cool lighting effects. The area was a lot more reminiscent of the Abyss level, like the last level of the game, the Abyss. It had those enemies in it, like those big evil, you know, creatures were in there right off the bat. As soon as you step in, foot through the door, you had to fight those things. And it was an entertaining video. I just don't know if I should upload it or not because I really wasn't in a natural flow. I just kind of winged it because I had to start in the middle of my gameplay with a new video, you know.
Yeah, they need to fix that, Wes, because like there's nothing more frustrating as a content creator than to make a video and then have it not be there. Um, what a waste of time. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, um, under those circumstances, I am very reluctant to use it because I
It
kind of
does well. It does for well for short periods of time. But when you start to get up, close to an hour, it's about a 50-50 thing. It'll lose the video about half the time, and it's frustrating. Now, I'm sure a lot of it has to be the fact that I'm going in and changing settings that are telling it to do things that it isn't meant to do. It's not meant to record in full widescreen with a 10,000 bit rate at 60 frames per second. All of these things I'm telling it to do is stressing the CPU. That's probably why it's crashing. But yeah, about half the time I can get a good video out of it, and half the time I can't.
So why not? There's got to be a way that they could hook it. You could be recording through the PC, but you know what I mean? Because I like virtual desktop. Obviously, I can record. I can go to OBS through the PC through that
There's a
software. What?
there is a way that you can do that, but the audio, there's no good solution to get the game audio. Like you can cast your video wirelessly through Wi-Fi into the PC using screen copy, but the audio doesn't go with it. So like if you're going to do that, then you have to get like an audio recorder and plug into the headphone jack,
Fuck.
or you have to
Oh,
just run a
God.
cable from your headphone jack into the computer. So yeah, screw that.
That is just sometimes, man, technology. Like just trying to get my chat into the damn headset on wireless virtual desktop. I want to do it, Wes, because when we played that the vibrant, I said I couldn't believe the vibrant colors again. What do they need to do on the Link or in general? Like, why does the headset my Rift never look like that? What is magic? What voodoo is Guy using through virtual desktop to make those colors look that good? Because when I popped it up and I saw you, me, and Mamefan are just our characters, that opening characters for Pop One, my jaw dropped again. I was like, holy shit, man! Because it's been a week since I've been in there. It looks so bright and vibrant. The colors are so good. I've never seen colors that good in a headset before because I've never had anything but Oculus. So I don't know what he's doing, but it's good.
They're not as good as the Quest One colors wise, but they're a lot closer than like the Rift S or any other Oculus headset. Yeah, well, he's just basically tuning in that panel inside the headset. Oculus could do this if they wanted to. It's nothing any different than what you could do by picking up your television remote, going into the color settings, and playing with it. That's basically what he's done there, and he's done such a good job of it that yeah, it's a very noticeable difference when you use virtual desktop.
It just makes me not want to play any other way, and I have to because I have to stream linked, and it sucks.
Anyway, I don't know. I'll probably try to see if I can salvage that pit video because it does have the full pit playthrough from in depth. And for those of you who've never went through one of those portals, it's quite an experience. So I think it probably make for a pretty good video. Let me know in the comments down below if you're interested in seeing it, and maybe I'll put the trouble into editing it and getting it ready.
I'm interested right now. I'll tell you right now in real time.
So there you go. We'll do it just for Roots.
Yeah.
But anyway, a phenomenal game gets better. The Quest 2 enhancements absolutely polish the game up and make it look almost on par with PC. Let me ask you this, Rich. Did you notice just how much better the clarity was? Which you didn't play it on the original Quest, so maybe you didn't. But like just stopping and looking at a couple of things like windows and just some of the architecture, the corners and edges seemed a lot sharper and more defined. Did anything like that stick out to you?
Oh, absolutely. Just looking at the building, just even from playing the last week to now, or when I first got this game, when I first got my Quest and I played this game, when the developer gave, or I guess you got me the key. It was from them. It was amazing. The difference. It's so much clearer today. Just the building looks sharp. Just looking at it, and like you said, the church windows. I couldn't believe how good it looked.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at. Like from the outside, when you get into like a well lit spot, looking in through like one of those windows, it literally took me aback. I was like, "Whoa, man, look at that!" And it's interesting because uh, it still is like Quest style textures. It's just they're implemented and done so well that you really have to get close to it to tell.
Yeah, it just looked really good, and I think it would blow away anybody. I just was talking to this customer today, Wes. I'm blown away by this. I go on and his kid's playing Warzone, right? And he's maybe like 10 or something, and I'm like talking to him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, he just started playing, this." And I said, "Well, Population One is out, and he'd never heard of the Quest." And I'm telling him, he said he was going to Google it when I left. So I think I probably sold another headset, because I was telling him, dude, you could play a battle royale, man. You're in Fortnite, and so that's just crazy.
Yeah, I think I sold a couple of headsets this week too with the visitors that I had. They all were all thoroughly impressed with what I had to show them.
Nice.
But anyway, Roots, a lot of these people are here because they want free games. What do you say we give away a couple?
Yeah, let's give away a couple games, dude. You know who else likes to give a couple games away is Oprah. Remember, she's always out there, man.
That is absolutely
She
true.
might
She's quite a lady.
she might be making a comeback for the show, the end of the year show.
That's true. I heard that she's considering it.
Yeah, we're trying to get her.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, we are giving away 2 copies of Hello Puppets for the viewers that watched last week's Monday show. So the Monday show 61, we had a giveaway. We told people to subscribe and leave a comment, and that we would have a drawing this week. We also gave away a couple keys in the chat last week. So a total of 4 keys that we're giving away, completely courtesy of Otherworld Interactive. So Once again, thank you to Otherworld Interactive, not only for allowing Roots and I to review your awesome game, but for allowing us to share it with our community.
Yeah, they were so good too. All you did was thank them, and they just said, "Hey, here's some extra keys, man."
Yeah, I know, right? It was
Yeah.
like crazy. It's like, thanks for letting us review your game. Oh yeah, well here's a bunch more.
Oh, you thought we were cool before? Here you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's
All
cool.
right, so let's ask Google for a random number generator, and I have already assigned numbers to all those who left comments. So we're ahead of the game, Roots.
I just want to say I'm crossing fingers for you out there. Yes, I'm looking at you. I hope you win. And whoever you you're gonna be the one that wins. I just know it.
All right, so as always, we are going to the random.org random number generator, and I think we had 8 contestants this week, Roots. Let me just verify that really quick. Let's see here. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. Mamefan's not having any of it, bro. He don't need our stinking games.
Oh,
6,
is that what he said?
7. No, he 15 comments, and none of them say I want to enter the giveaway.
Well, Mamefan's one of those people. If he wants a game, he's gonna buy it himself.
Now, he's won a couple of our giveaways anyway before. Like I think he won the last time we did a giveaway. He was one of the winners.
Fabster says, what about us that forgot to comment? Well, we our end of the year episodes are notorious for key giveaways. So definitely don't.
That is true. I said we're giving away 4 copies of the game total. I didn't say that we just had 4 copies to give away. It's quite possible that the 2020 show is coming up very, very soon, and we might just have a few more copies to give away for that.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be an epic show, right?
Dude, we gave away nearly 50 games last year, and we're gonna have to top it this year, right? I think we have to.
Yeah, no, we definitely have to. So I'm putting the call out to the devs right now. Flood the keys in if you want us to give away keys at that episode. I'm down for it for sure.
So, like, for those of you who have joined our channel over the last year or so, we'll do an episode of the Monday show here pretty soon where we detail um, just what the 2020 show is and what it comprises of. There's a lot going on in that show. And then I'd say uh, maybe the week before or maybe 2 weeks before, we'll probably have an episode of the Monday show that's just dedicated to setting the stage for the 2020 show, which is kind of our end of the year thing where not only we're not just giving away games, but we're giving away awards, 2 games. So, and we get the community fully involved in this. And they're not the most um,
Traditional.
traditional categories that we give away awards in either. Some of them are, others are not. So we get the community involved, and it generally, if it's anything like the 2019 show, it's going to be epic. And for those of you who didn't catch it, go back and check out the 2019 show, and you'll get an idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun, more fun to do it live this time.
Absolutely. All right, Roots. Numbers 1 through 8. Uh, the first winner is number 6. Let's see who
Oh
number
my
6
God,
was.
lucky number 6. I was hoping you would win. I have no idea who you are, but
Jack and B.
Jack
Jack
and
and B
B.
says, "Hi, I'd love to enter the Hello Puppets giveaway, please, and thank you." Now, see what happens when you're polite, Roots?
Yeah.
Just a little please and thank you goes a long way.
Well, I'm kind of torn, Wes, because I always love when I see names I recognize win it, but I really love when I see somebody's name I've never heard of. I don't know if I've heard that name before. I'm not looking at it. If I saw it, I would know, but I don't think it sounds familiar to me. That's cool.
I think I've seen it once or twice. I don't know if this person has been in the chat with us before. I think maybe that's where I've Seen him out.
Oh,
But
either way,
yeah,
either way, congratulations, Jack and B. Is that what you said?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Jack and B.
And you know who else likes to Jack and B?
My mom.
And that's correct.
I don't even know
All
what
right, one more winner coming right up. Roots, random.org. Tell us who it is. 6 again. Jack and B won both copies. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, it did come up 6 twice, but we're gonna keep going. 4.
Okay.
The number 4.
Lucky number
Let's see.
4.
Lucky
Divisible
number
by
4
twos.
is Chainlion.
A chameleon.
Chameleon.
Is what it
No,
sounds
this
like.
is Chain
Oh.
Malin.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Chain.
congratulations to Chain Malin and Jack and me, as you both have won copies of Hello Puppets. You'll have 7 days to hit us up either through our email, which is in our show information on our channel there, or the easiest way to do it is by hitting me up on Discord. There's an invitation to the Discord in the description there. Just join our Discord, hit me up. I'm Lethal Weasel VR, or you could even hit Roots up here. His name is I Am Roots, and we will hook you up with your keys. If these keys are not collected within the next 7 days, then we will draw again and give it to the next person.
Yeah, don't think that won't happen. We actually have had that
Done it
happen
before.
several times. Yeah, that one couple times, and it's like, what is going on? Like, you went to the trouble to let us know you want the key. Now we want you to play the damn thing, so please claim it.
There you
don't
go.
don't let Roots get salty about something so stupid. For myself, because I don't need to get angry about something that doesn't matter.
Anyway, congratulations to the winners. I hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah.
All right, Roots. So let's get on with it. It is time for game of the month, and we've got quite the debate on our hands today in some of these categories, don't we?
I saw the list, Wes, and my heart dropped because I was like, how am I going to choose? And a couple of these categories are really hard for me this time. Like, I'm not even going to lie. There's one category that's hands down, it's a no-brainer. Like, it's obvious in that category. The other two, I was like, man, like, I haven't had a hard choice like this for quite a while.
One of these categories, you could literally take any of these games, and if you pick the right month out of the year, you could insert it, and it would be the game of the month that month.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, let's start off as we always do with PSVR. We generally like to start slow and build our way up, right?
Yeah, especially these days.
Right, but I mean, this wasn't even close to the worst months for PSVR. I mean, we've had months where PSVR we couldn't even give a winner to, right?
Yeah, I think there was one where we just said, I don't even know. There's not really anything worth talking about on PlayStation VR, which is, that's sad.
No, not the case this month because we got 4 solid titles on here this month. First of all, there was a free title called Mortal Blitz Combat Arena. This game is free to play for anyone, and you can buy into it to upgrade the number of maps and things that you have available to you. So it's free to play, but you can pay to upgrade your experience. And from what I could tell, people enjoying this one pretty well.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to check it out too much, obviously, because I don't have a PlayStation VR. But I mean, free is good, especially for a multiplayer game, and so people are enjoying it, huh? Is this a aim controller one?
I don't think so. I'm not 100% with that one, but I don't think this is an aim controller game. But you know what? I don't want to put out misinformation. Let's just ask.
Yeah, because that's one of those things that makes a big deal. I mean, we've even thought when I had a PlayStation VR, I looked for games specifically that were aim controller, active or able to be played, and I would pick them up just because I wanted to use a controller.
Well, here shows how much I know, Roots. Combat Arena is optimized for the PSVR aim controller.
Wow.
Using the aim controller, you can engage in more realistic battles. Of course, DualShock 4 also offers optimized play. You can fully enjoy the game either way, but using the aim controller will definitely surprise you. So this game was made for aim controller roots. I didn't even know that.
Oh wow, you need to check this out, man, because you were made for aim controller too. You guys are made for
Absolutely.
each other.
Right. All right, so yeah, so it seems like we're learning more and more. I literally just put this game on the list to fill out the PSVR list for the month so that we could have 4 titles, and it turns out that it may be even better than I thought it was.
Well, I'll tell you what, like I said, that's just a big draw, man. People really love using the aim controller, myself included, when I did have the
Free,
PlayStation VR. And it's free.
free.
It's the best price ever for a multiplayer.
It's my favorite price I've ever paid.
Yeah, it's my favorite as well.
And then we move on to a game that just came out a couple of days ago. One of the reasons why I didn't want to do Game of the Month last week is because Twilight Path had not hit PSVR yet. And for those of you who don't know, Twilight Path is kind of a story-driven light puzzler from the developers who brought us Form. Very much on par with Form Roots here. It's kind of a shorter experience, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I haven't played this. I think I tried a little bit of it a while back when it first came out. Obviously not on PlayStation, but so is this? You said it's been has it been well received, or do you know?
Mixed reviews on it. It's kind of funny too because I feel like uh, people gave the better reviews to Form, but I feel like that there's a little bit more game here with Twilight Path than there even is with Form.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was one of those ones that I guess I've tried them at the both about the same time. People really like this on PC. I don't know why it's kind of mixed on the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, well, I mean, it came out years ago on the PC. I think that literally the era probably has a lot to do with it. The fact that we have different standards now than we used to have.
That's true. Very true.
All right, game number 3 for PlayStation VR, Star Wars Squadrons. Roots, pretty much a dream come true when I was able to strap on my PlayStation VR headset and pilot an X-wing fighter as we took on the uh, the dark forces, the Empire. But you don't start by taking them on route. You actually start off on the other side in a TIE fighter, taking on or at least searching for rebels on this outpost. The gameplay feels phenomenal. The set pieces and areas are absolutely breathtaking, and the gameplay's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely very fun. I was just looking, Risky Business just threw a key out there, which it looks like Fabster picked it up. Awesome, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Let us know what it was. We always like to know. Oh, it's Risky Business is giving out a dirt rally.
Oh, nice. That's awesome, bro. Um, well, we appreciate that, man, and I'm sure Fabster really appreciates it. You know, what's funny about the squadrons, Wes, and at least what I thought on this particular release is this is the platform, from what you say, had the very least amount of jank, which is the opposite of usually usually it's the PlayStation VR that gets the shit comments. When it comes to PlayStation, this was a very solid release. There wasn't as much weirdness, right?
Yeah, well, that was kind of the weird thing about it. I kind of played it on PlayStation out of necessity because that's all I had when it released, and I didn't want to wait. But you know, from what I heard, the place or the PC players had a lot of issues that the PlayStation players did not have. So that was actually both cool and unfortunate to hear at the same time.
Uh, yeah, it's true. Danelle VR says a question. My neighbor has a PlayStation 4. He's interested in getting into VR. Should I suggest him to buy a PlayStation VR or buy a Quest 2? I have a Quest 2, but never tried PlayStation VR. Well, one, you already have the same platform as one. If he picks up a Quest 2, you guys can play together on almost everything. And two, PlayStation VR right now is, at least this is my opinion, is it's just a weird thing to get into right now. Not that it wouldn't be a good investment, but I would suggest the Quest 2. That would be my suggestion, just because of the technology, and it's the tracking, the Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. You guys can, I mean, I guess I got that on PlayStation as well, but I just think it's a right now a more solid platform than the PlayStation VR is, which I don't know, maybe you disagree.
Uh, with me, it really depends on what person to person. It's what does this person value the most in their VR gaming system. If this person is looking for the richest games, the best library, uh, good full blown experiences in VR, AAA experiences, uh, I would have to give the nod to PSVR there. But the screens are better in the Oculus Quest. It's a lot simpler to use than the PlayStation VR. The tracking's better. Uh, Pretty much everything other than comfort and game library goes to the Oculus Quest.
And
But
everything's being developed for the Quest, and he's already got the Quest 2. And like, say you go over to his house or vice versa, you guys, he brings his Quest 2 over to your house, you guys can play together. I mean, I just think a lot of it's the biggest thing that it's starting to go away with consoles, but like that was one of the deciding factors for a lot of people. It's like, okay, I'm going to get a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. Well, my buddies, they all have Xbox One. So I'm getting the Xbox One, even though I want the PlayStation, but everybody I know is on this other platform. And granted, the Quest 2 can play with PlayStation VR compatible games, but they're, you have some and you have not. I mean, if you have the same platform, you're guaranteed to be able to play the same games that are multiplayer. So,
right. Fabster says let him get the PSVR, and I'm sure he'll get the bug and want to grab a Q2 down the line. Now that's a possibility, Fabster. But here's another possibility. Um, you could get the guy the PSVR and then hand him the Move controllers, and he gets so frustrated trying to learn how to use those that he puts it down and he never picks it up again. Where on the other hand, if you put him in a Quest 2, anybody can pick up those controllers and they'll know how to use it right away. Uh, they won't have. It's so intuitive how to use the grip buttons and triggers and the face buttons. There's no learning curve with it. You just put it on and you play. But with the PlayStation VR, you have to have your camera set up just right. You have to stand in a certain area. You got to have the lighting in a certain way. You can't have certain things hanging on the wall behind you. And then, if you get all of that right, you still have to learn how to move without thumbsticks, and it's a lot. So when I give demos now, I've got both here. I've got PlayStation VR and I've got Quest. And my advice to anyone is to get both if you can. Uh, but uh, for a newbie, the Oculus Quest platform is a lot easier to pick up, and they're going to be a lot more impressed with the visuals of the newer hardware.
when you
Now,
can't play,
with that said, you're never going to play a game like Resident Evil 7 on Oculus Quest 2. You're never going to play a game like Golem. You're never going to play a game like Farpoint. Those types of experiences are still not possible on the standalone hardware.
yeah. But if you want to play Population 1 with your friend, you're not going to be able to do that on the PlayStation VR. You could play Rec Royale,
That's
like,
true.
so I mean, it's all about, this is my thing. All great titles Wes just described, but they're all older titles. Are we going with the newer stuff, like you're going forward, or you're holding on like Scion with the CV1? Not saying that Farpoint isn't worth playing through. It's one of the best stories I've ever played through. But I just think that there's more versatility in the platform that's new, that every developer is developing for. And PlayStation VR seems to be a bizarre choice to be getting into right now with all the weirdness. I would just say that for those reasons. But like Wes said, if you can have both, absolutely. You're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting some of the best uh, content out there. You know, my favorite games, some of my favorite games, Rush of Blood, Resident Evil 7, Farpoint are some of your favorite games as well, and Astrobot.
Yeah, here they lie. Astrobot, like the games, it's a no contest. Like, which has the best games? It's PlayStation VR, and I don't care if they are older; they're still the best games ever. So, I mean, it really don't matter how old they are. The problem is there is a learning curve to VR, and the Oculus Quest 2 is much easier to use than the PlayStation VR. What I would suggest that you do is that you tell this person probably the best thing to do is to get an Oculus Quest base version at $299. Get the cheap one, put them in it, let them get blown away. This person already has a PlayStation 4. He's going to be able to find a bundle uh, at some point for like $200, or he could probably even find one used somewhere for like $100 to $150. So getting both over the next year is not out of the question. So I would probably start him on Quest 2, make sure that he enjoys the experience, gets comfortable in VR, and then let him upgrade his game library by go ahead and finding a cheap PSVR headset at some point.
Yeah, Onakazi says checking Amazon right now. Bundle for PSVR with moves and cameras, 350 versus 3 to 400 for Quest 2. He'd lean Quest 2. So you know,
That's true. That's true. But Black Friday, the holiday season's coming. That 350 bundle is going to be 300, and the 300 bundles that don't have move controllers in it, those are going to be 250. They do the same thing every year.
yeah, true.
Yeah, so actually the cheapest route for him to go, he could probably get a bundle with Astrobot and Moss in it with no move controllers because you don't need them for those games. But it does have the camera and the headset, those two games, for 250, and that's probably the cheapest option. But again, there's a lot of setup there. There's wires all across your room. You have to get your setup just right, and then uh, those are both seated. It's not really even like full VR. Those are both very limited seated gamepad games. Uh, so yeah, it's a tricky. There's merit in both. I would suggest anybody should have both, but which one's better for a beginner? I would say probably Quest 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my opinion as well.
All right, so Star Wars Squadrons, a tremendous release, multi-platform release. So I'm sure we're going to be coming back to it. But what do we have to round out number 4 on the PSVR list? Roots.
Actually, this game, I saw this and I remembered I need to go back into this game. This would be a great game for Quest. I don't think it's on Quest, but I would
It is
love.
on Quest.
Is it? See, I need to play this on
Yeah.
Quest, bro, because just the fact that it's I would be able to spin around. I never got my Wolverine claws, and this game is actually it's pretty good, man. I can imagine if you had a full 360 of things coming at you, it'd be different than the limited range that I played it at on PC.
Yeah, that was kind of the whole thing with me too. But now you see, when we first talked about it, when Ninja Legends first came out on Quest, it was kind of like, don't you want to play this wirelessly? And it was like, yeah, so standalone will probably be the way to go. But now we can do both routes. We can play the PC version that we have through Virtual Desktop, and it's going to look better and it's going to play just fine.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that, man. And I can do it in vibrant colors, right?
Yep, you can do it in 5 minutes, dude. You've already got everything you need.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that. I might try that this week. Now this is the PlayStation VR version though, and this is actually still good on the PlayStation, right? I mean, I never tried it, but
Yeah, people seem to like it just fine. It's a fun game. It's uh, it's even been updated since we've played it with extra weapons and stuff. But it's a fast paced, like wave style melee game. But it gets intense pretty quickly, doesn't it?
yeah, it makes you feel like you're in an arcade game, essentially. And I mean, that's one of the things we spend our whole life playing arcade games, Wes, we spent, I don't even know, rolls of quarters at a time. And then when we get to go into this arcade game as an adult, we shit all over it because it's arcade style. I don't get it. It's like I get to be in this arcade game and just, slice these things up. I don't know. I really enjoyed the gameplay when I played this. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really great game, and it's actually it's a contender this month. I feel like on the PlayStation VR.
yeah, Driven By says it's on Viveport Infinity. So if you have that as well, you can check it out for free.
Yeah, I think it might have been the version that I played of it. At least the last version I played of it was the Viveport version, and I don't remember any jank like he's reporting.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. So I'm gonna have to check. I got it on Steam, so that might have been where you played it. So
Gamertag VR checking in, getting ready to wake up Mrs. Gamertag, I imagine.
hey, what's up, Gamertag? Yeah, dude, early.
Yeah, the early bird gets the worm, Roots.
Yeah, that's right. Although he already missed the worm probably wasn't trying to get his free copy of Hello Puppets. So
No, he probably got the same email we got. I have to imagine.
yeah, dude, what great content he's pumping out, bro. Right? If you're not checking out what rock are you under? But if you haven't checked out Gamertag VR on YouTube, he's got one of the best channels out there, bro.
Absolutely, yeah. Gamertag actually did a side-by-side comparison video for the in-depth Unchained enhanced update that's about to release in just a few hours' time. So,
Really? I didn't see that. I
yeah,
have to check that out.
yeah, it's very obvious when you look at the footage what the differences are. Now, some of it didn't come across in the video. Some of the things we talked about, but like the stuff we were talking about with draw distance, um, very obvious.
I always love when people do those kind of videos because I'm too lazy to do them. And you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard for me to see it in real time. I mean, there's people out there like Mamefan, dude. He notices everything. It's like this, and you as well. This. I go in there and I'm like, what's different? I feel like I'm in like some kind of one of those things you're supposed to circle which one's different, and I'm having a really hard time seeing which one's different, bro. So
Right. So check it out, Gamertag. I took your advice, bro, and instead of in my little space that I'm normally in, this week I'm reporting live from the Blair Witch Woods, huh?
yeah, it's good. I was thinking what's cool about that, Wes, is like now if somebody wants to walk behind you, theoretically it should be fine. They shouldn't show up, and don't have to worry about your wife being isolated out of the room.
That's true. They could get brave enough to do something like that
You better
at
test it.
some point. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello Puppets. He's asking. Yeah, we did a Hello Puppets giveaway. We covered the game last week on the Monday show, and we did a giveaway in the comments. We just gave away a couple more copies of it as well.
Fabster says he returned this game on the Quest. So Fabster, what did you not like about this game? It's just not your cup of tea, I guess, huh?
What the Ninja Legends?
I'm assuming, yeah. He said he returned this game on the Quest. And then he said GS or Nvidia. I don't think those two are
Oh no,
related.
this is the Nvidia Studio thing. Yeah, there's no green screen here at all. Yeah, I could let me just show everybody right quick what we can do here. Da, 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 da. Boom. How about that?
Yeah, isn't that
Nothing,
crazy?
right?
That's crazy.
Magic. The magic of the RTX 3080.
If you do
Bam.
that, I would do that, but nobody's allowed to see my green screen just sitting back there.
All right. Let anybody have any objection here? Is there any question, Roots, as to what the PSVR game of the month is? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, right?
No, this was the one that, like I said, man, in my opinion,
Mortal Blitz Combat Arena, 100%. Oh,
hands down. This is what I was talking about. I was like, there's one category where it's just unequivocally obvious which one. I mean, you have one AAA, and then you have three really good indie type games, and one's got Star Wars, the IP attached to it, and three don't. It's a no brainer. And like I said, it doesn't hurt that this is the one version that actually came out relatively jank free when it came out. So
Yeah. Star Wars Squadrons all the way. PSVR game of the month, maybe PSVR game of the year. Maybe not though, because I can think of a couple others that are going to contend in that category.
it's going to be a good year, Wes. Last year we had a lot of competition, but we didn't. It was kind of obvious for the most part. This year, I mean, this is going to be so much up in the air, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I like even with PlayStation VR, some great games came out this year, and I think people have short memories, certain people especially. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting 2020 show this year.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Denel VR says good night. Has to go to work in the morning,
What?
and
Denel, come on.
yeah. You know, he doesn't want to ruin the surprise. You know, it's something to look forward to tomorrow. He's going to be able to wake up and still get to find out what everybody else knows, what the PCVR game of the month is, and what the Oculus Quest game of the month. And that's next, Roots. Let's talk a little bit about Oculus Quest. And I feel like looking at the overall selection of games, clearly with the Oculus Quest 2 being launched this month and the launch lineup that came with it, I think Oculus Quest won this month, didn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It was, I mean, pretty much, I mean, all the games were ones that I could see people really having a draw to them. And three of them specifically a very significant draw. So,
Yeah, I mean, man, these are all pretty good games. But let's start off by talking a little bit about Dash Dash World. This is a game that we have championed for a long time as the absolute best kart racer in VR. Very similar to a Mario Kart style game. It's almost Nintendo level of polish on this thing, and they took the bare bones that was the beta version, put all the bells and whistles in, and came to market with a full game. And absolutely awesome, good fun every time you go in it. And Roots, even since I've played this, there's been an update. There's a new track now.
really?
Yeah.
Uh, this blew me away today because I saw Mamefan say he returned it because it was too cartoony. Which is
Oh, give me a break, dude. It's a kart racer.
Yeah, well, he said even though he likes Mario Kart, I don't know, man. I think the karts are the tracks are super cool. The fighting is really cool, and it's the closest thing to Mario Kart in VR. I think it's perfect timing for it to come in, especially on Quest, right? With everybody coming in, and all. I mean, I played. I think I played Population One with a 4 or 5 year old. I don't know, man. This kid sounded young. So it's just there's a lot of kids out there, bro, and this is perfect for them. So
You know, the funny thing is they're all playing stuff like Pop One and Rick Royale, and they should be playing stuff like this.
yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I really enjoy this game. I need to get back into it. I know Radio Runt and I were talking about doing a stream pretty soon of maybe some kart racing, some grip, just some good old fashioned fun. So
Blaze Rush. We need to
Blaze
do Blaze
Rush.
Rush. I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah, dude, I love Blaze Rush, man. I think you're gonna love it. Absolutely.
Anyway, Dash Dash World, top notch game, best kart racer I've played in VR, and certainly deserves to be on the Oculus Quest Game of the Month list.
Scion dozed off. He found a way to throw shade at PlayStation VR. He said, "Do what I did
Oh
and
wow,
nap through the
Scion, no
PlayStation."
way.
He napped through the PlayStation portion. He accidentally dozed off, but he woke up for the Quest stuff. We're happy you're so excited about Quest stuff, Scion.
Yeah, for real, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So Roots like Dash Dash World, a nice start to the Quest list. The second game. I'm not sure if it'll be game of the month, but I'm pretty sure that this is one of the best games ever.
Yeah, I don't know that I have this game on. I guess again virtual desktop. It just pretty much is. I need to play it on virtual desktop. Res Infinite. I got access to this game through you, and I need to see this game and Tetris Effect. Wes, I have not yet been into either game to see how good it looks with the clarity, and now I want to see how the vibrancy and the vibrance setting for the virtual desktop. I think it's going to look amazing.
Yeah, we did a little standalone Tetris effect yesterday after the show. Um, I didn't know what to put my sister in as a warm up. She played some Rush of Blood years ago, but she's been gone a while from it. So I kind of wanted to move her back into VR slowly, and we started her on some Tetris Effect, and pretty much blown away by it. Right?
Wow. Did you get her into since she started with Rush of Blood, did you have her try that roller coaster standalone game that you probably didn't pick up yet for $10?
Are you talking about
The coaster combat?
Coaster Code? No, I haven't picked it up yet. I actually was
What?
gonna. Well, dude. Listen, I was going to actually pick it up this week, but I just kind of spent my $20 credit thing on Pop One so that we could play standalone
Yeah.
before the show today.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I guess you had to actually pick it up. You had access through other
Plus,
people's
plus,
copies?
I'm holding out, man. I'm holding out. I know that once we finally make it to 10,000 subscribers, that we're finally going to get that key from those guys.
I think so, dude. I think we're really close. We just need 9,150 more, and we're good to go, bro.
No, I'll buy it. You bought it. You said it was great. You recommended it to me. I'm going to end up buying it too.
Yeah, hands down. And if you haven't already, subscribe, bro. Like you made it this far, and we'll tell you again at the end. But
Yeah, who wants
do
to
it.
be number 850, by the way? I mean, we're sitting on 849.
Yeah.
People like those nice round numbers. Somebody take that 850 spot up. Hit that red button.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Roots, Res Infinite, when I said it was one of the best games I've ever played, I meant it. I absolutely love this game. I have a special place for it in my heart, being one of the first games I ever played on the PlayStation VR Demo Disc Volume 1. And it's an amazing time, and I'm sure that it looks absolutely stunning on the brand new Oculus Quest 2 screen.
I'm gonna find out. I gotta do it now.
Go do it. Get back to us.
Yeah.
Number 3 on the Oculus Quest list, Roots, game that we've already talked about earlier in the show, Blair Witch. Uh, Again, solid horror game. Not the best horror game on Oculus Quest, but certainly I felt like it was good enough to warrant a spot at the table if we're talking about the Oculus Quest game of the month.
I don't know, man. I'm a little put off. Once you told me I can't fist bump that dog, you lost me, bro. Like I need to fist
What's
bump
with
this.
you and fisting animals, dude?
You know, I was gonna go somewhere with something else. I'm not even gonna go there. But you know what? I just want to fist bump him, man. Like I got the fist bump Sharky, the Falcon. Like, does this dog think he's better than the Falcon? Come on, bro. Like, come on, man.
This
Come
dog
on,
is totally
man.
better.
Well, he
Come on.
does. I guess he is better. He does kind of give you some direction. So,
Well, here's the thing. Here's the cool thing about the dog in this game. Like I told you that the character that you're playing kind of losing grip of reality. The dog is kind of your anchor. So if you let the dog get away from you too much, you start to lose it.
ooh,
So like you have to stay with the dog, uh, and you can command the dog. Like I told you, there's a little command panel that you can bring up, and you can kind of call the dog to you, or send it off looking for things, or just have it stay close to you.
I like that dog. He's my friend. I might have to
Yeah,
check this out. I
yeah.
got, I got it for.
I knew you dig the dog aspect of it.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a free. I could play it flat, but that would be kind of weird too, right? I don't think it'd be the
I
same.
don't know, man. I think it would be cool and to check out the PC version on like a Helix Vision type deal.
Yeah, maybe I'll stream it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, number 4. Tell us all about it, bro.
All right. Well, this one I haven't only got a couple hours into this game. I think about
Yeah,
50. I just passed 50. Again, we started the show out about this Population 1, one of the best games in VR out there in my opinion right now. Definitely the best shooter, I believe, out there. Contractors is amazing because of the maps, because of the custom maps, but the overall gameplay and the complexity of everything coming together I think this game is hands down the best shooter in VR.
Whoa, big words, Roots. The
Yeah,
best competitive shooter in VR, best shooter period
the
in
best.
VR.
Well,
What are we saying?
the best, I guess it'd be of PvP type, contractors, whatever. I mean, not the best shooter like Farpoint, lining up all whatever, but as far as competitive PvP, contractors, Pavlov, whatever, it's the best. It's got everything that you need, the AAA pull to get you back in. It's got that one more appeal. It's got the collecting. It's got the gathering, the getting better weapons. Every game is different. It just everything about it. It's pulling people that don't even like battle royale in. You know what I mean? It's just different, and it's not that taking away from any of those other games, but this is just different than all of those other games. It's the first one to bring the AAA into it. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I need to play more of it. I don't know that I would give it the nod over Firewall. That said, Firewall is a PlayStation VR game. It's not on PC. It's not on Quest, so it's kind of in a league of its own or a different category.
Let me ask you this. All right, no, maybe not you, but I'd like to ask the chat, the comments people, all those people out there, even the anchor ones that are probably pissed at Roots. Um, I- how do you guys feel about not being able to be in on this game? Like, are the PlayStation VR people, are they watching Population One and they're thinking, and I'm sure a lot of them are because it's a defense
They're thinking
mechanism.
Minecraft, bro. Minecraft.
They're thinking, I don't care. This is shit. Like, but there's got to be people out there that are like, man, I want to try this. I want to play this game. It's being so well received and it's so good. But I find that a lot of PlayStation VR people that are in that bubble that are by themselves, they will convince themselves that they don't need this game and it's not that good because they don't have access to it. And then as soon as it comes out, it'll be the best game in the world.
I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret about the PSVR community, Roots. Over the last year, a lot of them, and I mean a lot of them, have bought Oculus Quests. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them have Oculus Quests
So
now.
they got the best
And
of both worlds.
yeah. Like even like some of the bigger content creators that are PSVR exclusive channels, they're playing Quest when they get home, bro. Like it's getting pretty widespread actually.
That's true. And Onakazi made a good point. Oof, did Solaris come out this month? What that game kind of fell away. I don't even see it on our list. And if it did, that really fell away.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not sure. I don't think it did. But even if it did, I didn't.
Include it,
I
yeah.
don't think I saw 10 good words about it. So
Yeah. It just
yeah.
it just didn't, it kind of fell flat. So I mean, it doesn't have, I mean, it's a PvP game where you're partying up with people, but you can't party up with your friends. How does that succeed?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So.
Anyway, is it in full release or is it in beta? I think it might still be in beta, right?
Maybe it may be in beta, and that's well, I think,
Or
you mean
early access. Early access is what I meant to say, not beta. Early access.
It's very possible. Yeah.
Anyway, Population One, a shoe-in, right, to win the Oculus Quest Game of the Month. Are we leaving anything out?
I think that's it. I don't think there's any other AAA games that came out this month. Oh, except for one.
Oh, or what about the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah.
That was my conundrum. That was why I said, "Oh shit!" Like, because I'm looking at these two titles and I'm like, "Oh man, where does Roots?" Like, because I've just spent 50 hours in the last week playing, getting sucked into a game that in a way that I've never done. And then you have the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, right? Definitely a hard choice.
Yeah, Onikazi says, now that I'm thinking about it, it may have been released at the end of September. Yeah, man, you know what? The weird thing about it is, and while we have all this confusion about what month it came out, it's because we actually missed the Game of the Month episode last month. We didn't do Game of the Month in September, Roots, and there was a lot of stuff that came out in September.
I know, and it's crazy too, because we even considered, well, do we go back and do another one? And we're like, well, no, we'll just kind of, I mean, we're so close to the end of the year. Like, what's the point now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go back and review it privately and pick the winners for that month, just for the purposes of the game of the year discussion for the 2020 show.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
we totally blew it, man. I mean, we robbed The Walking Dead Onslaught of its eventual sweep of PC VR and PlayStation VR, because you know it was going to win,
Oh
right?
yeah, hands down. I'll just say it right now. We're sorry. You know, so
Yeah,
we we
we are
we blew
sorry.
it. Yeah, we're sorry.
We got an epic apologies segment coming up. I got to imagine as much stuff as we screwed up in 2020, Roots. Man, pissed some people off this year, didn't we?
Yeah, dude, we always piss people off.
But we are the type to not let take this line down. We are the type of men who will own up to our mistakes and admit them and apologize at the end of the year, which is what we did last year, and it's what we're going to do again this year.
Driven by says, how is Saints and Sinners on Quest? On the
Well,
Quest 2 in particular, does it compare with the PC version?
well, I mean, obviously it's not going to be the PC version, but I'll just say this. Roots may have a conundrum about what the Oculus Quest game of the month is. My conundrum is with PC VR. There's no conundrum here. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is the best game in the Oculus Quest library. I really don't feel like it's close. It is amazing. It looks great on the Oculus Quest 2. Now, I'm not so sure what it would be like on Oculus Quest 1. Probably looked pretty rough, to be quite honest. But on Oculus Quest 2, I don't know if you read in the Discord, Roots. I said my sister played the Oculus Quest until the battery went dead.
Hmm.
Guess what she was playing?
This one, yeah,
Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, man. She had a blast with it, and then my daughter got up this morning and started playing it because she watched her aunt played it and said, "Man, that looks awesome." And so that's what she went and did.
nice. Well, my it's not as easy and cut and dry for me, just because of the moments, the feel, the draw, uh, just how I feel personally and how it's made me feel for Population One. But how I would say the conundrum got chosen, and you see I'm not switching scenes for the game of the month, is it's this is the only game of its kind on this platform. There's no other physics based game, that we take for granted, because we've got Boneworks, we've got Alex. We're starting to get spoiled with these physics based. Like, this is the game where they actually get to feel like, wow, this is real. Like, my hands aren't going through shit. And as good as Population One is, it doesn't have that. It's not next level in that respect. The storytelling in this, the Walking Dead IP, the draw, the way that I've seen people's eyes light up when I mentioned there's a Walking Dead game in VR. All of that just tells me that this is hands down the best game on the Quest for this month, if not probably the entire year.
Yeah, there aren't any other games of this caliber on the Quest. Like, um, when I was talking to the guy earlier in the chat about the library of the PSVR versus the library of the Quest, I said you'll never see a game like Resident Evil 7 or like Golem or like any of those like longer story-based quests, story-based campaigns on the Quest. But this is the exception. Through some evil voodoo magic, Skydance Interactive was able to pull off a full-fledged AAA game on a standalone unit, and it absolutely looks great. Um, I mean, in most areas, it looks just as good as the PlayStation VR version. In some ways, it looks better. In other ways, it don't. But it really is a feat of engineering. It's a miracle that this thing works on this headset. It still blows me away every time that I go into it, and it's just a great game. So for me, it's hands down the game of the month. Roots, if you want to take it to the jury, we'll take it to the jury. But I got to think that we're going to get a pretty swift answer.
Oh yeah, no, I don't need to. I mean, like I said, I had a conundrum, but that was my mindset. I went through all of those thoughts in my head, and as good as Population One is being received, and as well as I think it's blowing up and it's going to continue to blow up, it may be a different story 6 months from now, and it's so big that we're like, fuck, man, that was like the thing that brought everybody in. I don't know, but this game is next level in every way. Storytelling, action. Nailed it with the IP, and it's a game that almost everybody that I've put into has been blown away by it, and the people that weren't noped out so quick they didn't have a chance to be blown away. They were just creeped out by the zombies. So
You know who's more blown away than anybody, Roots?
who's that?
Tu- Tutorial guy. I
Oh.
blew that guy away like fucking 50 times.
Who doesn't love blowing tutorial? Well, he gets. I mean, he deserves it, in my opinion.
He
Like
does. He's
he
such a dumbass,
comes
man.
out
Like,
and he's all snarky, you know. Like, I don't know. I'm not doing.
now that you've, what was he saying? Now that you've completed the tutorial, do you want to exit the,
Yeah,
something like that? And then
bullshit,
about
dude.
that time you hear a psh, and then his brains are on the wall.
I just think that was weird because I didn't. I mean, I just never assumed I could kill him, but you blew him away right away, right off the bat.
Yeah, that's what I do, bro. Anyway, no conundrum for Oculus Quest, but I feel like there is a debate to be had with PCVR. We're going to move kind of quickly through these because, first of all, Dash Dash World, we already talked about. Absolutely awesome, but largely the same game on PC as on the Oculus Quest, right?
Yep, absolutely. Maybe a little bit more polished, but I didn't see much difference. So
Yeah, absolutely. It was still a great game, still the best kart racer in VR. Everything we said before applicable here.
yeah, Scion thought you were going with a mom joke there. I didn't know if he was either, but I was waiting.
Now, this next game, Roots, I kind of struggled with whether or not I should even put it on the list because I really don't know what to say about it. I don't know if anybody played this game, Roots, but it is a AAA VR game. It's a legitimate AAA VR game from a AAA game studio in Ubisoft, and it deserves a mention just based on that. Agos, a game of space. Roots, did anybody play this game at all?
Alex, Alex picked it up and he played it for like an hour, hour and a half, and then returned it. So it's not really his cup of tea. I'll tell you what, man. That's one of the things about Alex that I do love is that he'll try it, man. He's really got that attitude of he doesn't want to shit on something before he's tried it. So he'll put his money out there, try it, and then kind of return it or whatever. But yeah, I haven't heard too much about it outside of that. I mean, it's got a lot of polish from what I hear, so it seems very
I
grindy.
think, yeah, kudos to him for trying everything. I do think he tries to talk himself out of the game sometimes, though, because I've seen on a couple of occasions he'll come in like, you know what, I'm having fun with this game. I'm really enjoying it, and then he'll go away, and like an hour later he'll come back and say, I refunded it. It just didn't stick with me. You're like, dude, it's been 30 minutes. You lost interest that quick. Like,
Yeah, I think he's
but he does. He will try the games. You're right about that. He'll try them all.
yeah, absolutely. So I don't know much about this game. I can't see it being game of the month, but I this is my thing, man. I don't know. I don't know how long Ubisoft keeps putting games out if they keep doing what they're doing because every game that they put out seems to have polish, but isn't received in the way that you would hope it would be received if you're a developer, especially a big one like Ubisoft, with the exception of what is it? There's I guess the Star Trek Bridge Crew did pretty well. Wolves and
People like the Eagle Flight too.
yeah, it's just the recent ones have just fallen flat, and these are the ones that were supposed to like at least their PvP one was supposed to do well, and I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know.
I think they're getting ready to turn all of that around, Roots, like in a major, major way, because we've got Splinter Cell VR coming, confirmed. We've got Assassin's Creed VR coming, confirmed. It's pretty awesome.
Well, let's hope. I hope so. I had the Walking Dead Onslaught confirmed, and then I had my hopes ripped out of my heart,
Oh,
split in
dude,
half, and then wiped with somebody's ass.
Survios is a big deal in the VR world. They're not Ubisoft. Trust me. These games, if they're putting these franchise tags on them, they're going to be legit.
I hope so.
All right. Game 3. Tell us all about it, Roots.
I already talked about it. Already raved about it several times. Population 1. Amazing game. Roots loves it. Going to be playing it later tonight. Hit me up if you want to join in for a couple rounds. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely great. And here's where the conundrum comes in, Roots, because I absolutely love Star Wars Squadrons as well. A lot more content here, a lot more varied gameplay, not just one thing that you can do. You can play multiplayer in this. You can play as a team, or you can play a single player story campaign that's 10 hours long with recognizable characters from your childhood. It's a AAA production from a AAA studio and a AAA publisher in Electronic Arts. So, what is it, Roots? What's the game of the month for PCVR?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's ironic we flipped because on the Quest you had no conundrum. On this, I have no conundrum, and not because the only reason I don't have a conundrum because this is AAA. Um, will it be game of the year? Maybe. Is it game of the month? No, because they didn't release it properly. It's fucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all of October when it was able to be played, I didn't play it because it's still broken. You know what I mean? So, as good as it is, until it's in a playable state for me, I can't make it game of the month. You know what I mean?
Speaking of space games, seeing $15 sale Rad Matter on Oculus, is that cross buy? It is not, and that's really pisses me off because it is a good game and it's worth $15. They never put it on sale on Quest. They always put it on sale on Rift, and it's not cross buy. So yeah.
Well, seeing what's funny, Radio Run, I don't know if you're wearing it right, bro, because I'm wearing my Quest 2 for 10 hours straight and I have no comfort at all problems. Like I almost find it more comfortable than the Rift S or as
No,
comfortable. Well, for
no,
me,
it's not even close.
well, for
For you, yeah. But I'm totally with Ready Run on this one.
yeah, well, I don't know, man. If for me, it's way more comfortable, and I don't know. I'm just so far, I'm not having any issues wearing it. So
Well, that's good. I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. I still have to fidget with it now and then, and when I get it in, I don't really think about it. But when I wear something like Rift S, I do think about it. I think, man, that feels good on my face,
mm.
and I don't really think that so much with Quest 2. Chat, help us out here. Population 1 or Star Wars Squadrons for PCVR. What's the game of the month? I'm torn here. I'm tempted to pick Star Wars Squadrons, but again, I played on PlayStation. People say there's issues on PCVR that I didn't experience.
Well,
So,
they
but
just released the patch at the very last day, I think, of October. So you could have played it for one day with the frame rates proper, and it's still not optimized properly. You know, I've got a AAA game that I've had since launch that I played with my HOTAS that I really, really loved. I've got a new headset and I haven't been back into it because I want it to play properly. I want it to not feel fucked. When I turn my head, it's all jittery, you know? So for me, I can't pick it for game of the month because they didn't release it properly. You know what I mean? Like they didn't optimize it. And, the other game is optimized perfectly. You know, it runs perfect wirelessly, standalone. Everything is great, and I enjoy the game. So
yeah, everybody, last call. Let us know what you think here. I'm totally asking for your opinion on this. Pop One or Star Wars Squadrons. Game of the month, October for PCVR. Yeah, Roots. Certainly. Population 1 gets points for being polished, being a finished experience from a gameplay perspective. That said, a lot less going on there. A lot easier to polish a game like that has a finite area, one thing that you're doing, versus a game here that is a lot more versatile with regards to what it can do, and a lot more graphical uh, heavy lifting going on in this game. So
But it's not having to play on the Quest.
that's true.
You know, and the thing is like you when we talked about Population One, one of the things that you said that was impressive about them is they spent so long polishing it to make it play the way it's done. They, as developers, they did what they should do. And EA is great as they are. How do you not have that? The issues that happen are very big issues. The frame rates in VR is everything. I just don't. It's maybe on the flat version they nailed it, but on the VR version they did not nail it. At least on launch.
Right. All right. Well, here we go. It looks like Pop One says Ion, the icon. Pop One says Scion. Corporate Zombie says Squadrons. He bought it twice and it's amazing. Radio Rent says he likes Squadrons, but it's not pulling him in like Pop One. Radiator Pop One. Spry Guy, I've only played a very small amount of each, but I think releasing a broken game disqualifies it for Game of the Month. Hard to Get says, I have not played Pop 1 yet. Squadron is a kid's dream come true. Fabster says, Pop 1. Roots, I think we have a winner.
Yeah, well, it's good because Squadrons nailed the PlayStation VR, and I am convinced by the end of the year Squadrons will be running smooth, and I'll be talking about how it's a very good chance for it being Game of the Year. But we still got Medal of Honor, and like, dude, I don't even know what's going to happen with this Game of the Year because there's so many good games coming out. I might be thinking Medal of Honor is the best shooter PvP, and it probably will be because the polish on that is going to be amazing.
Yeah, Onikazi coming in with the Pop 1 vote as well. Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see because there is going to be an online multiplayer component to Medal of Honor, and it's not just going to be one game mode, it's going to be multiple game modes, and it's going to be AAA and fully polished out. So, the interesting question remains, does Pop 1 build up this awesome VR multiplayer player base just
Or
to have Medal of Honor swoop in at the last minute and poach and take them all away?
yeah, I think it'll do well. I think Medal of Honor will take a lot of people. The kids, man, I think that the people that are like even Jim Hall. The reason why I think Jim loves this game so much is he really loved Fortnite. And so like being in that game, feeling like you're in the game that you love and VR is something different. But for most people that like you or me grew up playing Call of Duty and those games, I think Medal of Honor is going to feel more like that, like you're got sucked into the just the ultimate Call of Duty game, and I think it's going to blow people away. That's just my instinct.
I think that's pretty solid instinct. We're going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I think it's going to wrap it up. So for the record, Population 1, PCVR Game of the Month for October. Star Wars Squadrons gets an honorable mention / runner-up, which means it may not win the Game of the Month, but it will be in the discussion for Game of the Year. And that discussion is coming up very, very soon. We'll probably have to take a week off to plan for this, but then again, I'm talking about the 2020 show. We'll probably have to take a little time off to prepare for that. But we said that last year and we ended up not doing it, right, Roots?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we said a lot of things. I'll tell you what, man. You know, it's coming quick, dude. Like you said, putting on a show that's that long and that epic is definitely not going to happen overnight. And so we got to start planning it now, right?
Yeah, and I mean, then in the holidays too, right in the middle when we're trying to do all this, it's holiday time when we're doing stuff with the family. So.
Yeah. Yep.
So definitely coming quick. You know who else comes quick, Roots?
Oh God.
My mom!
Wow. She is
There you
busy.
go. One
Mm,
more for the road.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, friends. All right. So if any of you are new and haven't tuned out on that note, we would very much appreciate it if you would click the big red subscribe button, click the bell. It helps our channel to grow. That's what our channel needs to grow, friends. We need clicks. Click all the buttons. YouTube gives you like 4 of them. Click as many of them as you can. For those of you who want the conversation to continue on, or maybe you just want to play Pop One with Roots, join our Discord. There's an invitation in the description down below. And those of you who have been around for each of the 10,000 My Mom jokes that have been told in the history of this program, and you'd like to do a little bit something more to help support us, help bring our jokes to the world, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you can gain access to our weekly show notes as well as the always awesome money show.
Yeah. And keep this in mind too. That money's just building. It's sitting there. We haven't touched it, and it's all going to go towards the show. Probably in the next. I don't know. We haven't really even discussed it, but I know we've got plans to spice things up in the near future. So.
Absolutely. We're always looking to improve here, and we've got some ideas, some good ones. Actually, some new content ideas that I'm hoping works out. I got to start collaborating with some people, though, to see if we're going to be able to make it a reality. But I got a good idea. Got a good idea for you folks. I think you're going to like if I can make it happen. So, yeah. So little short channel update there. We've got some baby steps that we're constantly going to be chipping away at to improve the quality of our programming, and we have new programming planned for the future if we can make that happen.
Yeah, and the chat's saying as we're leaving West, they're saying that the PC VR was decided when Alex dropped, and you may be right.
Oh,
You,
that's possible, but friends, I think we have short memories. There's been a lot more than Half-Life Alex come out this year, and it's not a done deal. I promise you. And like Root said a moment ago, Medal of Honor still to come.
yeah, and other ones. There's IPs coming. So
Absolutely. With that said, friends, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you in Pop One, friends.